everybody, and welcome to Real Horror. This is a show where we discuss the horror movie of the week, and this week we are discussing Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1 review. So this should be a fun stream. And I just want to thank everybody who is in the chat right now. Thank you for coming, and anybody who's watching on the replay, thank you as well. And it looks like it's Vinny and I tonight. So, Vinny, how's it going tonight?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm looking forward to talking about one of my favorite series and franchises of all time. And you can see how happy Bruce looks here. He's ready to go.
Yes, I'm psyched to be talking about this. And let's just greet the chat real quick.
Hell yeah.
Solo Wooden made it in first. Nice to see you, Solo Wooden. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Mr. Pulp Noir, good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Lurch Slight Return, hello. Thank you for being here. And I saw that. Thank you all for coming. Have a nice day. Adam, good to see you. You don't have to just hang out in the chat. You can also come up on panel too.
Right.
But so thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoy the show. So, Lurch Troll, I know that was a joke. No worries. Here he is. And welcome to Pop Cyclops. How's it going tonight?
Hey, good. Sorry, I was doing the dogs and getting them all done, and hopefully they'll be nice and melatonined out so we can have a stream and I don't have to be muted the whole stream. But if they don't and they bark, I'll mute, and I'm just going to put Ash up right now going,
Yeah, there you go. Or just with the glasses and zap a dog or two. With that.
That's right.
I love how you drugged your dogs for the stream. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well, this is important because I mean, like we did the stream last night with Draven, and I had to be muted like 90% of it because I got 4 floors to run up and down when they're going nuts, and I'm the only one here at the moment. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Those little dogs are adorable, but they can be happy. I had a neighbor with a couple of them. They are so cute, though.
Yeah, I sent you a video. You can enjoy it later. But yeah, I literally just let them out. I freed the wiener, if you will, dog. And it's just kind of funny. You'll see them. And I'm yelling at Frank and Vinny, make sure you show that to your brother.
Boy, I yell at him enough. Oh,
well, I meant because he could see. Yeah, you could just see Frank being Frank, because he's a silly weenie. But yeah, I got you, brother.
Well, I'm glad you could make it. Thank you for being here. And The Beast, nice to see you as well. Hope everything's going okay where you are.
Yeah, man. Sending lots of great thoughts over there. Holy crap.
Yeah. And Soul Wooden says, let it be known that Real Horror is almost up to 300 subscribers. Share the streams. This channel is pretty awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's more than pretty awesome. It's fantastic.
It's groovy.
That's right.
It's groovy, baby. Yeah.
So, did you guys both rewatch the series?
I did, yeah.
Yes, I didn't get all the way through it because unfortunately my game plan was to get high and watch it. So I haven't been really stoned because I'm here. So I can't smoke till in the evenings when everything's okay. But I've been watching it today, and it was funny because I had on 3 different TVs playing at the same time.
Oh man, I don't know how you do it.
Because I'm a busy, crazy guy. That's how.
Yeah, I do not have the attention span to do something like that. Like paying attention to just one TV is I have to really plant myself.
I got you.
Yeah, so did you guys have fun rewatching it?
Oh, every time. I think this is maybe the 3rd or 4th time I've seen this series.
Yeah.
I stopped at episode 10. I'm not getting into season 2 yet until we were done with this one because I don't want to confuse anything or jump the gun.
That's actually, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. And by the way, you can get through a season in 5 hours, something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're only about a half hour each. And wow, what they pack into a half hour is incredible.
It's amazing.
I know. I was thinking that, like, rewatching the series, I'm like, man, these really do. They go by fast, but you get so much information, like,
Yep.
in just one, like, a half hour, and it is so well done. It's not just like crammed at you and like haphazard. It's actually really well done.
It is. They thought about everything.
Yeah, for real. It's this show, I mean, I don't want to get too off topic, but this show and Breaking Bad
Mhm.
are two shows that I think were executed exceptionally well.
They
As
were.
you right, yeah.
They really were. Breaking Bad is one of those ones that it just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah, like even like not even like counting the subject matter, because I know some people aren't down with, like the subject matter of Breaking Bad. I'm even just talking about how there was a clear beginning, a clear end, and
Yep.
everything in between was like to get to the end, and it
Right.
was masterfully done.
Yes, because the writing was so tight on a show like that. I will only do another minute or two on there, but I mean, it was so well crafted, and then the throwbacks to earlier episodes and things that they were gonna do later on. It's like it almost felt like every step along the way they had a great piece of the puzzle that was already there. You know,
Yep.
and then using science in order to solve a lot of their problems too was amazing.
Yes.
And I'll give one extra plug. If you haven't seen Better Call Saul yet, they are all on Netflix. I watched the last season not too long ago, finally, and holy crap! Again, that's another amazing job what they did.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good show. I was a little bit upset with the ending, but it's still a great show. And if you like Breaking Bad, definitely watch it.
Yeah.
And DeBeast, I want to highlight his message. He says he's doing fine, but his friends and family in Maui got it rough, and
Oh man.
I'm just so sorry to hear that. And
Yeah.
my prayers are with you.
Sending all kinds of prayers,
Yeah.
and I know it ain't easy because just to get supplies and things to those people.
Mhm.
I can't believe what this government had done.
Yeah. Yeah, all of our good thoughts and prayers are with you.
Absolutely. And with
Oh,
your
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
I was mad. I was very mad at Better Call Saul because I didn't realize that was the end. Like, I was like, oh, they've got like less than 2 years, so we're gonna get what, another season? And then no.
Yeah.
Like,
But in a way, again, without giving spoilers, it had to end that way.
yeah, it did.
In my
I'm not
opinion.
complaining, Vinny, but
Yeah.
I was like hoping for one more season just because it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. But speaking of great seasons, holy crap. Ash back in all of his glory.
I know. Oh man, God, this show is so great.
I know.
Well, let's say you never saw the movies, right? You
Mhm.
could start with the show and it fills you in enough, and then you're going to want to go back. Like I said, this series to me only added to the mythos, man. It made it good and better. And I mean, even though it's the bestest thing ever, for me, I think it is. It is one of the best seasons or series that they've ever came out with.
It is.
Yeah. And yeah, that's totally true, because they do like in the first episode Ash tells Pablo about what's going on, the book. He like explains what happened at the cabin and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a recap on, here's to fill you in, like for anybody who hasn't seen the movies, and it's a good quick little recap.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with you, Adam, that you could just start with the series, but you would be much more enriched if you start with the movies first.
Truly. And again, and like, we'll sum it up a little bit too for the people who were kind of on the fence, didn't even know about the series, because I know there's a few people who enjoyed the movies who didn't even know that the series existed. We continue Ash's story from the end of Army of Darkness, where he came back, and he's working at the S Mart. Well, they had to change the name of the store. You could assume he went to a different store as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still Ash. He's living like in a kind of like a trailer park area there.
Yeah.
and he works at, again, one of those kind of stores like a Kmart or whatever. Evil starts to follow him again. It just in the beginning, it starts off with him here doing his. He's getting ready for a great Friday night out. He goes to the local bar. It's about to close, like in 5 minutes. He orders a drink. He hits on a chick. He's so smooth. He comes up with this great story. He gets the chick in the bathroom. He's banging away at her.
Right.
And
well, remember, Vinny, it's the 30-year anniversary of him, going to the cabin.
Oh yeah, that's also.
So it's and saving, because they don't specifically say it, or because that's when they show the kind of the flashback and everything. And I know I'm going to jump here, but with Pablo and those dolls, oh my god, like that shit was hilarious. Again, season 1, episode 1 is gold, and then by 3 we get Lucy Lawless back. Ruby, oh my gosh! So yeah, man, it is just phenomenal. If you've never seen the movies or the show, yeah, the movies are great, and the show is too. But I mean, if you're not sure if you're gonna like it, watch the first episode. Because if you're not gonna like that first episode, you're not gonna like the movie. This just isn't your genre. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, because he's hilarious, and this whole genre is amazing. But and this kind of burned my ass too. I had a dinner with Lucy Lawless at New York Comic Con. And it was as soon as they finished filming this. I had no clue. I didn't know it. She didn't mention it. It was like a group of about, I think, like 12 of us. The chick I was dating, her, a couple other people from a different convention. The guy who runs like the Salt Lake City convention. It was weird. But it was for a birthday party of the guy who played Deathstroke on Arrow, Manu Bennett. And we were invited to his birthday party, a mutual friend thing. And they're like, come on down. And they thought we had more people. It was just me and her showed up. And like, oh, we thought it was a bigger guest list here. And the first person to even talk to us is Lucy. As soon as we came in, she turns around and says, oh, you guys are with us. She picks up her plate of food. She had some kind of meat on the dish. And she goes, you got to try these. They're fucking great. And that's the first time I'm meeting Lucy. And I'm like, excellent. And I got to have like a 45-minute conversation with her. Fantastic. She was awesome. But we had a mutual friend too in New Zealand, Richard Taylor from What a Workshop, the ones who were responsible for the Lord of the Rings, all that stuff.
Wow.
It was amazing. And we're there the whole time. She doesn't even mention this show once. Afterwards, and I heard about it, I'm like, are you shitting me?
Wow.
That conversation could have went in a whole different direction.
Seriously. That's amazing.
You'd have geeked out. I mean, it'd have been, because look at how passionate we were with the movies. Even when you did 1 and 2 together, and then when we did Army of Darkness to where we are now. I mean, we have been nerding and geeking out hardcore for the last couple weeks.
Dude, yeah, I mean, unbelievable. But again, it's awesome when you see like who the people truly are. You throw all the politic bullshit out of the way, because I know she said stupid things kind of and all that. Like, throw all that crap out the window. Just people having a normal conversation, and seeing the good in one another like that. And I mean, it was really cool. It was a fun experience. But again, at the same time, it's those type of people who made a show like this. And again, the ones who were behind the scenes. I knew someone who actually did stunt work on the episode in the diner. The clip of the blonde waitress that he's hitting on, when she becomes Deadite, the actress who's playing her is a totally different actress, and she did the stunt work in there. That's someone else that I knew as well. So it was pretty cool, I'm not trying to make it about me. Sorry.
No, I love the stories. I love how you always know somebody. It's hilarious and awesome.
Yeah. Well, it was like 12 years straight of like doing the convention scene. You get to meet interesting people.
It's awesome, man.
Well, thank you for sharing it, Vinny. We don't look at it that you're bragging or not. Like, you're literally letting us know, especially for people that maybe haven't heard this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We're all close. So, I mean, we talk all the time, but we do have members.
Yeah, and another one of my friends, her husband, he was on the episode with all the army guys.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
the one he was kind of thin, tall and bald. That dude, he actually ended up marrying my friend Serena Vincent.
I was going to
Wow.
tease you and say it was ETAP, wasn't it? Thin,
No.
bald.
And he's damn good friends with Bruce, by the way. He was going on all the
wow.
book tours with them.
So you have like less than 6 degrees of separation there.
Yeah. Well, I met Bruce. I did meet him,
Yep.
which was awesome. But I wish we had a better conversation. It was quick. But he came by looking for me on the Sunday, and I couldn't make it there. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to kidnap you the next time we know for sure where he is. I'm just going to kidnap your ass.
Right.
Like, here we go. Because I got, me, you saw what I did this weekend. So.
Right? Yeah. And I want to meet Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That would be cool.
Yeah. I met his brother slightly in passing. We didn't talk, but his table was right. Like we had part of his head was in the photo.
I just want to say hi real quick to Soul Assassin. Glad you could make it. Nice to see you.
Yeah. I know somebody who knows somebody. Bada bing.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely Italian with all those connections.
Yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, the show itself, yeah. It all comes back at him in a crazy way. Again, he's like I was saying before, he picks up that chick at the bar. He's banging away at her in the bathroom, and she turns around and her face is one of the Deadites, and he gets freaked the hell out. And they said that they're coming for him, and then like it went back to that woman. And he freaked out. She's like, "Why did you stop?" And he's like, I gotta get going. She's like, but I almost, she almost finished. All right, we'll finish. And he was freaked out the whole way. And then his whole drive back home, he was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I love how he still still does it.
A Deadite didn't even turn him off completely. He's like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing her because that's just Ash.
Oh, that was excellent.
Oh man, it's hilarious.
But and, how they opened it like that, because then when he gets to his trailer, and he's looking for where he put the book. It's in this trunk. He opens it up and he goes, "Oh, there you are. What the hell is this?" And he found a little bag of weed inside. And he goes to open up where it was like bookmarked, and it all came back to him. He had some hot chick in his place, and he wanted to impress her. She had like some kind of tattoo on her wrist, and he's, what is that? Like some kind of French poem or something. And he goes, oh, I don't have any poetry, but I can read you something in another language. And she's like, oh, that'd be great. So he opens up the Book of the Dead, and they both start to read a passage out of it. And they cut back to him holding the book in his hand, and he just goes, oh, fuck. And then you see the intro, like it's like blood splatter hits the screen. It's Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's amazing. A couple people came in. Time Prophet, nice to see you. And Stig, nice to see you. Thank you guys for coming. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I love that too. He's spanking the woman with his wooden hand. Yep, that awesome. Whole scene was crazy. I loved it.
You know damn well you were going, if only that was me.
Yeah, totally.
Oh shit.
But yeah, like that. Oh man, that was great. I love how it was like you just get Ash back right away. You know what I mean? Like it cut right to the chase. Here's Ash again. And that was just so awesome.
Hadn't missed a beat in 30 years. Instantly. Boom.
Well,
right there, baby. Put the girdle on, Vinny. The medieval girdle.
Huh?
Yes, the corset thing.
The corset.
Oh, yeah.
I call it a girdle.
Yeah.
Looking good. And then they do like those classic like Sam Raimi things. It's like You see him put his fingers in a jar and he takes out his like bottom dentures. Like,
Yeah, like Sam Raimi likes to humiliate Ash.
yeah.
I should say
Oh, Bruce.
Bruce. I should, yeah, but I always think of him as Ash. Hey, nice shirt.
Nice. But here's the great thing too. Not the puppies barking, but the way that they set it up, it is kind of like the cowardly Ash as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like the beginning of Evil Dead 2 type of thing. Like if he can find a way out, he'll look for it type of thing. And like when he goes back to work, like he knows evil's coming for him and he can't stay. He's going to take the book somewhere. There's a guy that can kind of help him with it that he thinks there's like a bookstore in town or something. So he's like, he's got to get out of there. But as soon as he gets back to work, you have his boss being a dick to him right away. And, you know, telling him that he ain't leaving. He can't make up these excuses anymore because he's got like a pet lizard. And he's like, oh, yeah, my best friend, he's sick. And he's like, you're not going to pull that crap at your pet lizard sick again. You're going to work today, blah, blah, blah. You guys just being a dick to him. So as he's in the store, Evil shows its face, and in the form of, like Adam was saying before, like these little toy dolls in the back room that he's kind of packing stuff away. And much like in Army of Darkness, when you had the mirror versions of him, those little ones that broke out of the mirror, like she starts to attack him. She's biting him, and then all the other ones like are starting up, and his coworker Pablo kind of saves him. Like the thing is, like she grabbed one of the box cutter, and she was gonna charge at him, and you just see like a shovel comes down on her, and the blood just splatters all over the place. And Pablo's like, "What the hell was that?" You know, and then that's where Ash tells Pablo about his story of basically, you know, he had this crazy night in this cabin 30 years ago, and you know, his friends didn't make it. His girlfriend died as well. All this crazy stuff, and that evil's coming for him now. And you know, Pablo just saw that, like he's believing him in all this stuff. You get introduced to another coworker as well, Kelly, who's in there, and first thing Ash had done was hit on her before that even happened, which was great.
But the build-up, Vinny, the build-up was awesome because the old lady, as he's getting ready to leave, and he keeps sitting, you know, and when he was humping the leg, like the Deadites are there, you know, and again, it's messing with him, and then he forgets what he did, and then when we get that little action figure doll that comes at him and is chasing after him with the box cutter, and all you see that shovel go kaboom and shit everywhere.
But even like the moment, like when he talks to Kelly, like he's hitting on her, and she's like you're a creepy old man type thing. And he basically like, oh no, he goes, I'm one of those guys that you're gonna wish that you were with. He's
like you'll think at some point you'll think about it.
Yep.
Yeah. You might not now, but you definitely think about it. Like his confidence is like through the roof when it comes to women.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love that. Like he's such a ladies man, but also kind of like just the toxic masculinity. I just can't get enough of it.
Yeah. Oh, and there are the subtle racism that he keeps throwing like at Pablo and stuff.
Yes. You know I'm not Mexican, right?
Yes.
Churros, because churros are an awesome dessert. You know I'm not Mexican, right?
Episode 2, that was hilarious. He's, we're going to get the book all situated. When we're done with that, he goes, then we'll go get some churros. He's like, yeah, you know I'm not Mexican. He's like, oh, no, it's not a racist thing. It's a delicious treat.
Yeah. Man. He just does not miss a beat.
No, it's too good.
Real quick, I want to say hello, Decepticons Cave of Comics and Toys. So nice of you to stop by. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And Solo Wooden says NECA needs to make that doll face.
Yeah.
How did they not?
Well, I did see, because we were talking about it, and I was like, no, I don't think NECA ever made that. But then I was looking at Ash versus Evil Dead figures, and there is one version, and they have Ash wearing that red smock thing for...
you're right.
Yeah, and it has a tiny little doll face thing in it.
Yeah.
So it's like a little tiny accessory that he comes with, but the
Toys
dollar.
R Us was still around when that came out because I was
Oh,
gonna go
wow.
back and get it. There was a set, it was that, and then they had a set of Ash with those two little twin demon things.
Yep, saw
The
that
black
one.
eyes. Yeah, I missed out on that too. I'm like, oh, it's around the time the sale was happening. I'm like, okay, because everything started going on discount. I was gonna go back and grab them, and they were already sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hate when that
I would have.
happens.
Oh,
I always
definitely.
never had the money for it, Vinny. Like I never saw it either. Don't get me wrong, but if I would have, I didn't have the damn money anyway. But yeah, I don't really own anything. I just love I mean, I almost bought the book because they had like diaries and stuff where it was empty pages. And then they did have the book you could just get that's supposed to be a copy of the book from the movie.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I mean, I never ever, ended up getting anything. And, I haven't really, when I end up going to the cons, I don't have an overabundance of money, usually anyway. So like there was a guy that was dressed up like Ash and he had a chainsaw on his hand. Like, it was awesome. And I hope I got a picture of it or a video so I can find it and share it. But I mean, there was so much going on, at the time, and getting down there and having the blast and seeing the stuff we got to see. But I mean, again, when you see something like that at a horror con and there's an Ash there, you're just happy to see that you're not the only one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd so, dress up, and again, I'm no Bruce Campbell, but it'd be like to see, because he was supposed to be in Indy. The first time I went in 2018, he was there, but he wasn't there on Sunday, and I was only able to go on Sunday. So I just missed him. And then the last time I wasn't able to go, because I was going to do something special for you for your birthday, which I told you I was going to, have him sign something of yours and then mail it back to you without you knowing it. But I haven't ran into Bruce. So, it's one of those, maybe it's in the cards, but maybe you'll end up in another, deal with him where you'll run into him, which would be even better. I mean, again, I'm happy to promote and do what I do. Giving the books to Booker T and plugging the hell out of it, because you met him a couple times too. It's like, hey man, this is my buddy, and I know you like it. When I told him that, you still like comics, right? And I get this look like, how the hell did you know? And I'm like, because I'm a super fan. Like I know shit, and usually it's stuff that nobody cares about, because it's just useless information. But hey, it worked to plug you, buddy. So
hey, man, that happens. That always happens, But that's always a good thing too. When you find out people are into really cool stuff like that. And I think Soul Assassin's right. Bruce is basically, he's at least Ash, his character is like Han Solo and James Bond put together.
I totally agree with that. I've never been able to pin it down like what kind of character he is, but Soul Assassin, I think you absolutely nail it right here.
Reluctant hero, because again, like, when we start this, he's like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this shit again. I've already had a day from hell 30 years ago, and then I ended up in the past with some sorcery and shit to get back home. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. But then again, why the hell did he have the book? It's like, man, you would put that thing, like, lock it up, make it so it could never be read again. Something you would think, but no, Ash still has the book. And of course, we get the series, which is beautiful because of the way they did, because you could so see him doing it. Oh, look, some weed, some coke, whatever. Let's party, baby. And then,
Yep.
Just, hilarious. So good. But again, I was just gonna say, that first episode, I like how they did it, because like he wants to take the coward's way out basically, and Kelly got a weird phone call right from the beginning as well, and it's her father, and he's acting all weird because like as Ash was hitting on her, like the first thing she said was that her mom died in this horrible accident, and like right away Ash is like, oh, that was rude. That's a way to kill a conversation. Listen, you don't do that. When you meet someone, you don't tell them off the bat something that horrific. It's like, where are your manners? Like it's funny how that kind of how his dialogue is with some of these people. But then at the same time, she gets a crazy phone call as Ash is trying to get the hell out of there. He's going to head back to his place, and basically like the mother appeared. on the phone, essentially, like the father was talking to her, and like he went,
The
"Oh my god."
pancakes, Vinny. The pancakes. He smelled pancakes.
He
You know,
smelled
like mom's been
pancakes, her
missing for a
perfume.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was all crazy stuff
Yeah.
happening, and then like he went, "Oh my god!" He drops the phone because then you see like as if you did drop it, and she's looking at the phone, and it's angled at the front door, and as it opens up, it's the silhouette of the mother standing in the doorway, and like she's got to get back home, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like Ash is going to his place. He wants to grab the book, get the hell out of there. They see this big storms coming, and they did the forest thing where like the evil entity is coming through the parking lot though, and like it's, you know, it broke a car window. It's going through the cars, and Pablo with Kelly, like they get out of there just in the nick of time, and it hits the store manager like in the front of the door. But then they cut to them, and they went to go to Ash because they want help from Ash, and he's like, I can't help anybody. I'm done with this shit. We got to get out of here. I'm leaving. And as that happens, the Deadites start to attack in his trailer. And it's like, you know, his neighbors and shit, like this little old lady and one of his other neighbors who's like he's like on the roof of the RV thing, and yeah, like they're all getting their asses handed to him, and he right away he goes into badass mode. You know, like he rips off his red schmuck thing, and he's got on his shirt. He's got a button he presses, and you see like a floorboard opens up, and the shotgun jumps up in the air.
Yes.
And he grabs the sawed-off shotgun, and he's like, "Yeah, well, you know, it's basically something along the lines of
time for Daddy to go to work, Vinny."
Yeah, and like he goes straight into badass mode.
Oh
And
man, it was so
good.
good.
The trailer too, like they did with the woods and all that. Like it was so nice to see them do that. That they beat up his shitty little pull behind trailer.
What's up, Monotony? Thanks
Hey,
for
buddy.
coming.
Tony, did
What-
you see this series? You gotta let us know. I'm sorry, you were saying, Trina?
Oh my god, I can't remember now.
Well, we'll get back to that one part where basically as he's grabbing his shit, like he blasted the one guy in the face. He grabs Kelly and goes, "I'm gonna need to borrow this," and he takes her belt and she spins like from in his arms, and then he's using it for like making that kind of harness that he usually has on.
Yeah. The
And
way
then-
he grabs her belt and he's like, I need this. Oh my god.
Yeah, and there is that moment in that episode too, and he's like, she's looking at him like, holy shit type of thing, and he goes, "See, I told you I'd cross your mind." Like
Yes.
it came back full circle.
Yep.
But even the like, okay, so I didn't see the other movies, and I really was hoping like from the series, like they would have moved them into the movies,
Oh, man.
because the police officer lady, right, like her whole journey,
Yeah,
you know, because we're only talking about what's going on with Ash, but then we had all that happen too, and it's like, holy shit, with the evil, you know, being out. So
yeah. Which that was excellent because they show this house in the middle of this episode, like this kind of mansion thing, or it was a big house. And the cops got called in there, and they're looking around. Everything's like all you know, kind of dark and dingy and like closed down. Like, what's going on in here? And like they see a like a bed sheet over somebody, and they go to pull it, and it's the blonde who read from the book with Ash, the girl who had the tattoo on her wrist. And she was like, "I need help," blah blah blah, and then she turns into a Deadite, and she starts to attack them, the black girl and her partner. And the partner doesn't exactly make it. He had a pretty gruesome ending where he gets shoved into the antlers of a deer on the wall.
Yeah. He
But
gets mounted.
yeah,
he does.
not in a good way. And
I
holy
would pass
crap!
on
And
that way, Vinny. I would
and-
pass. No, thank you.
you know what was really cool and creepy how they did that? Like the girl's head spun, and
Yeah.
she started walking backwards. Like that's like her body was like it's normal like that. But like the motions of it, it was so creepy and awesome. And yeah, she basically tormented. She was tormenting the girl as well, and
She took lessons from Arn Anderson with that scissors, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, again, I didn't have to break down every detail, but there was some cool shit that happened.
Yeah.
And but basically, she took out that girl, and I liked how Sam Raimi did it because it was almost comic book style. I mean, like she had an ankle gun that she blasted the girl's head off essentially, but it was like a shotgun blast. That wasn't like a little pea shooter. Like what it would have done was like not even close to that damage, but like it blew her head off. But the way they did it, he did it like a silhouette, like a side shot. It was awesome. It was something out of a graphic novel. Like it looked so cool. But then, like as the blinds and stuff are moving and all that shit, like you see like the light kind of hitting in weird spots, and the body of where her partner was on the antlers, it was gone. And then you hear him like laughing and stuff, and like basically he went to attack her. She survives it, takes out her partner. So like yeah, they have like this element going on with this female cop, and then Ash on his own kind of journey. What they were doing in this episode, pretty damn awesome. And Sam Raimi did direct this. He directed that first episode.
You can feel it.
Yeah, it definitely had his touch all over it, and like the cool stuff that he did. The moments with Ash were again fantastic. When he wants to go grab his chainsaw. He moves the curtain where it is, and it's like the little old lady who was, who kind of had the hots for him, and she's like a deadite now.
Yeah.
And it would have been Trina if Trina was a little old lady.
Yeah, basically.
That was funny though. Earlier in the episode, when he got kind of freaked out by her, right before that happened,
by the laundry.
He's like, yeah, I gotta get back into work. I gotta grab a paycheck. I'm gonna come back. But in the meantime, like, is there anything could you help me out? And she's like, yeah, I would love to. What do you need me to do? And he's like, oh yeah, clean out the septic tank. And then he throws rubber gloves at it. Really get in there.
He's such a dick.
Oh, it was hilarious. And she's still smiling the whole time, like happy to do it for him. But yeah, when she's a deadite, oh my god, like she was wrecking them all.
Yeah,
vicious.
Oh yeah,
very, very.
Yeah. Pablo, he got a freaking knife to the shoulder and pinned to the wall, and the chainsaw was like it was at his foot, and Ash can get to it, and then he does like that kind of, he kicks it towards him, and Ash like he jumps up in the air, and his hand, like it goes automatically into his hand, like, and it locks in position. It was hilarious and awesome all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like he's flying in the air and it's just like clicked in. And
yes.
He did his famous stance like when he was fighting the pit witch in Army of Darkness, and he just like cuts him in half. Like, oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Such cool stuff.
Awesome episode. And the ending is perfect. So yeah, I've got this.
It's good to see you, Jefe.
It's good to be back.
How does it feel?
Groovy.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
I love. Did you see like the kind of smirk on his face right before he said groovy?
Yeah, like you could tell.
Yeah,
you could tell he's loving it again.
Yeah.
And he despises every time he had to be splattered in blood and that syrup and shit. But he's happy to do it because he knows like how much this character is loved and how great this story was. And Tony, I know it's gonna be kind of tough to get your wife into it, but hopefully she does, because you guys have to watch it. It just keeps getting better and better, and the stuff that happens in this season. The introduction of Lucy Lawless's character, Ruby.
Third episode, dude. I think we get her in the third episode, and it didn't take long. And it's a beautiful thing. Again,
I thought it was the second.
What?
She pops up in the diner.
Yeah. She's got that little bit, but then we get her with with her dad, with the girl's dad, stuff we haven't talked about yet. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's just so like it moves so quick. For I think this 35-40 minutes of an episode.
Yeah.
And there's so much that's in those couple of episodes where you're just like it's like it could have been a full-length movie, and this made sense. It just beautiful. how writing should be done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I love that. I love how it's just like a 35 minute whatever episode, but you get everything. Like they nothing is skipped, like nothing is it's just so well done. It's so well directed. It's awesome. I love it.
It is.
It leaves you wanting more. The pace of it doesn't stop. Like when it slows down, it makes sense when it slows. From opening to ending, there is nothing to complain about other than awesomeness. And as they said, groovy. It's perfection.
The only thing you'll be saying is, "Oh, I wish the episode was longer." That's how much you enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely a show to binge all of it. I mean, and it is hard to stop. But you don't know how badly I'm like, I'll just watch the first episode of season 2. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. We're going to stay here. We're not going to do it.
Right.
We're going to stay here on season 1 because it was so good. And again, he has a whole journey. You have, again, guest appearances throughout the series that are amazing. The one who plays Kelly's mom is Mimi Rogers. And that was awesome. I play the clip on my channel every now and then where Ash punches her in the face.
Yeah.
And then she turns into a deadite. He's like, good. I was beginning to feel like a real dick there.
Yeah. Right.
But like he called it.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Like because you find out what's going on, and then you're like, Pablo, you're an ass. Well, you wouldn't help her if I did. I was like, oh, he's got the hots for her so bad. It's so and you see that right from the beginning.
We'll let the people know. So that's what happens is Ash, he wants to grab his book. He wants to get to this bookstore. This guy's supposed to help him, put an end to the evil or whatnot. He could read from it and help him translate it a bit. But his book goes missing. And Kelly gets out of there because Kelly wants to race home to make sure her father's okay. And if that's really her mom, she's like, oh my God, my mom's alive.
Yeah.
So she races home, and Ash is like, well, good for you. Well, I got to get going. And Pablo tells him, oh, she took the book. And he went, what? Yeah. So when he gets there, Pablo and Ash, they're on their way to Kelly's. To get the book and save her potentially, and on that drive there, you see the store manager from the Kmart store who's in the back seat, and he's a deadite, and he's attacking them, and Ash was driving, and they're all fighting, and that whole scene was crazy. Oh my God, it was a bloodbath.
Very Three Stooges, it reminded me of. It would be like a stooge, the way that, the dead body's there, but it ain't dead. It's a dead ain't now, buddy.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean, there was some crazy cool stuff. And, Pablo's freaking out because, this is the second time already. Now he knows evil exists for sure. And he's like, what do I do? He's like, grab one of the bottles. He goes to smash the bottle, and it's just like this, it's basically just the neck of it. It's so small. And, Ash ends up getting it, and he's stabbing the shit out of the manager in the throat.
Over and over.
Yeah. Blood is pouring all over him. It's spurting everywhere.
In true Evil Dead fashion.
Oh, my God. It's comical. Like, there's so much of it.
And I love how later, as they're, going up to Kelly's house, Ash has his boomstick. Ash has his boomstick, and Pablo's like, I think I kind of need a weapon, and Ash is like, oh, here, and he gives him the bottle, and he's like, well, I don't really think this is a great weapon because you kind of had to stab the guy 30 times.
Yep.
It was.
Come on, F.A.
Oh, and I loved when he was covered in blood like that. He's like, you got anything that I can clean off?
Yeah.
He gave him a little wet nap.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, you ate some ribs. Here's a wet nap. No, man, that ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, those things don't even clean your hands off after having ribs.
No,
right.
Could you imagine though, answering the door and the way that Pablo and Ash show up, just.
Oh yeah, he basically kicked down the door, and he's got the chainsaw in hand. They're covered in blood, and they're like, "Oh!" And you just see it's like a regular family moment. You see the parents, you see Kelly. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, and Ash was like, "Oh yeah, this is just you never seen a guy with a chainsaw hand before."
Right.
And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm a hunter.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a deer exploded, and I've hunted before. I've never seen a deer explode. There ain't hunting the right deer.
Yeah.
Oh, it was excellent. And then yeah,
He
when he goes to put his stuff down for a minute or whatever, and that's when Pablo tells him like, yeah, Kelly doesn't have the book, I did, and he's like, what? He's like, yeah, we have to save her because like I thought the mom was one of them, and clearly she's not, which is great. And then Ash is like, no, she's definitely one of them. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like Ash knows. They were invited for dinner, and like they're sitting down having the meal, and he starts like rambling off these questions, and she's answering them at rapid fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where were you?
Somebody
What
that
happened?
Lost their memory, Vinny.
Yeah,
You sure do know a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was great. She's like in the hospital. She said it was amnesia for her car accident. Didn't know where she was, but then she remembered everything else. Yeah,
And Ash too. His whole go after the big fish thing. Well, invite me to dinner and come after me. Well, she looks normal. No, she ain't normal.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was good. Like again, it was fun how they did it.
It was. It was so well done. And and Ash is absolutely convinced that Kelly's mom is a deadite because he knows.
Mhm.
And then remember, and he starts like kind of hallucinating, like seeing like maggots and blood pouring out of her mouth and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That was
but
great.
nobody else is seeing that.
That's when he started with the rapid fire questions. Like,
Yeah.
No. You're not what you say to me. And, I got one more question. And then like he punches her in the face and she falls out of the chair. And then they're like, what the hell did you do, Ash? And he's just he's looking at her, and you see the back of her is facing them, but we can see her face, and she's like, she's making all the evil faces.
Yeah, the way that was shot too. We see it, but he doesn't. But we know he knows. But everybody else is like, "What did you just do?"
And again, I'm surprised that her, like she did that. Because again, Mimi Rogers, she's she's not known for doing shows and movies like this.
No, not at all.
And she's down for all this kind of gory, crazy shit that happened in this episode. That was pretty cool. But yeah, and basically just like the Deadites do, like they torment, the living and all that. And yeah, Kelly's like freaked the hell out. She runs into her room, and Ash is like trying to do what he could to stop them. And like again, she's vicious. She's on the ceiling and shit, and doing all crazy stuff.
Husband.
She stabs the husband in the face like with a fork or a spoon or something.
Yeah,
right in the eyeball, the left eye.
Yeah. Yeah, Kelly freaked out, and she's, oh my god, like her dad's dead now, and like, oh man, it was brutal for her. And then and then they did the classic thing, like the Henrietta moment. They're in the bedroom, and she's like, the light went out, like it broke when she got in there, like. The horror moments that they have, and basically like you just hear they singing the lullaby, the hush little baby thing, and she was like, oh my god, what happened? Like she's playing dumb so that Kelly could run into her arms and all that, and Ash like kicks on the door, and you see her like that she's gonna eat her soul or whatever the hell she says. They basically have to put an end to her, and they do. And it's terrible for Kelly and all that. But then in the end, like he wanted to do the right thing, and like he made the graves for them, and he puts the cross down in there, and then she goes, they were Jewish, right? And he goes, why didn't you tell me before I made those stupid crosses?
Yeah. that to me, like as soon as that, because I knew it was coming, I've seen it, but I was just like, representation for Mr. Lee Tepulkulian and Chris Fisk.
It was great though. It was funny.
Oh yeah.
That when they were when the mother was singing "Hush, Little Baby," that's a throwback to Evil Dead 2 when what was her?
Henrietta.
Yeah, was it Henrietta? She was singing that to Annie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They kept doing great stuff like that. There are throwbacks all over the place.
So many Easter eggs if you've seen the movies. But then again, if you haven't, it's okay because then you'd see the movie and go, oh, I remember that from the series. Again, it just adds to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you don't have to see the movies to see the series. It's just like you said, it just adds to the experience. And Draven.
Oh man.
I wouldn't have been psyched to see characters from a show I didn't watch either. So
right.
But
so I think that was the one I didn't make. That was because I wasn't able to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have been all over. I'd be like, I'd have drug his ass. I'd be like, trust me, when you see the series, you'll understand.
Right.
Yeah. Monotony.
He's representing tonight. He's representing the tribe.
I love it when we got a clown in the chat.
Right? Oh, so good. You only saw the first episode. Oh man, it would be great to have you on one of these two talking about this.
Yeah, for real, Tony. Like even if your wife doesn't want to get into it, watch it anyway and come review it with us.
Yeah, you got your own account, Tony. You got no excuses.
It's so good, but I mean, and then like those moments that happen, and you see like Ruby.
Oh yeah.
So you have Lucy Lawless's character. Like she's kind of like following where Ash was a little bit. Like you see her show up like at Kelly's parents' home, and like the father's kind of corpse comes out of the ground, and like is having a conversation with her basically, and they're like, we know who you are, we remember who you are, and you know like she just wants it to speak, and she pulls out, she's got the dagger, she's got the.
Does he have the book? The question is, does he have the book? And the Deadite is like fucking with her and won't answer it.
Yeah.
And she takes out the Kandarian dagger and she's just like she's putting it along his face, like the blade itself, just so that the touch of it is like melting and burning up his face.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets the answers that she needs or what she wants. But it's like who is this character? What the hell's going on? And then.
I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
I think she was even on that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Oh, really?
She was on the first episode. Like I was gonna watch it, but it was just it was only the first episode she was in. So I'm like, I'll miss it then. I don't need to watch this shit. But I would have because again, I thought she did it so great in this series. Like I don't know. I think this is some of her best acting.
Between that and Spartacus, dude, that was really fun when she was in there too.
I got it. I only watched like an episode or two. I've been meaning to go back and watch those.
You got no excuse. You have an account too. You got it in. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
Adam has hooked us all up.
Adam's the man.
Hey, I pay for it, so you don't have to. I'm gonna still one of Draven's lines, so he doesn't feel so left out.
You
he
beautiful
fucks it, so we don't have to. So
Yeah.
See, now that's one of the times where someone doing something so someone else doesn't have to actually benefits someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
I like so Vinny, did you see Time Prophet's comment?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that they were married.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know she had a connection, and I know they were all super tight.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah, I knew her and Bruce Campbell were friends because she even appeared on Burn Notice with him. So yeah.
When was that?
I can't remember which season. We binged them, so I wasn't paying attention to episodes or seasons.
Gotcha.
But she was typical Lucy Lawless evil character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's good. She's a great actor. Like you said earlier, like her comments about current events and whatnot are not that great, but we try to separate them from
Well,
everybody has an opinion, and if you're
right,
or even different, right? Like you can still be out.
But you got to remember too. A lot of Hollywood, like they're told to do certain things.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely. They've
know,
already
in order to
said,
keep
like
the work
with
on.
Fox, what we learned with
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx. Hey, you ain't gonna do this movie if you don't get the jab, whether you like it or not.
Right.
And so yeah, there's other things behind there where it's like, well, we heard with Mark Hamill, he couldn't really say much about Star Wars till finally it was out, and then he could say, yeah, I just think of it as Jake Star Wars.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, he's an actor; he's paid to do this stuff, so
Yeah.
it does suck. But yeah, deep down, man, can she act? And doesn't matter if you go from Xena Warrior Princess to Burn Notice to here on Ash versus Evil Dead. What she does for this show,
Mhm.
holy crap!
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, she really does have wicked good acting chops. I have to admit.
Oh yeah.
And later on, when we get to see her rise from the ash, and if that, and I'm pretty sure that was her. That wasn't a stunt double.
No, that was her. That was
yeah.
Yeah.
Her husband is a very lucky man.
Yeah. And after seeing him, no wonder she was so flirty with me. I get yeah, and even the my girl I was dating at the time, I mean, she was a total smoke show, and we were all having a fun time.
This is my friend Vinny here. He's gonna whip out his sausage near.
We gotta keep it professional. What are you doing?
Hey, Ash is whipping out the double barrel and the boomstick, and we got chainsaws and deadites, man. So it's all good.
That's right. But no, I mean, again, but yeah, what happens on the show is so awesome, and how they just can continue to go like on the journey that they're going. So it's Ash. He's got Kelly and Paulo with him because she's got nowhere else to turn, and they're all kind of sticking together. They want to fight this evil. They want to help them get this book where it needs to be.
Could you imagine the trauma in your brain? I mean, like for real for a second, because you're just at work. You're working with some guy that's told you stories, and we've all had that guy.
But I mean that's the fun of this series, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's these crazy situations you wouldn't think. Because I mean, obviously she'd be mourning her. She'd be mourning her parents. She wouldn't be just like, yeah, I want to go on this trip with you guys.
Yeah.
But then again, if you just found out evil truly exists and got to face with it, I think you kind of stick with the guy that just killed the evil, right? Like, don't you?
Yeah, definitely, because she's an orphan now, like all of a sudden. She lost her mother 6 months ago. Now she just like lost her again because it seemed like she came back. And here's a guy saying, I know how to defeat them. I'm gonna stick with him.
Because the mother just killed the father, so now she's got nobody, as you say. I mean, literally, this just happened. I'd be jumping in the car too, being like, for self-preservation.
Absolutely, that and some retribution.
Oh, big time! And boy, do they get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah! Oh my God! There's so much great stuff that happens. Oh, by the way, Soul Assassin. No. I'm no homewrecker. I wouldn't have. No. It's crazy though. She did invite us to the nightclub with them as well, but it was like already 3:30 in the morning, and like we still had to do one more day. Her, Manu, and someone else, like they were all going to be hopping on a plane, like right from like I guess their nightclub or whatever, and they sleep on the plane. But like we still had a full day at the show to do, and I'm like, we both kind of tapped out.
That's what 5-hour energies and coffee is for. But no, I get your video.
Yeah, but
it's responsibilities.
Obviously. Yeah. Well, the night that we had, I mean, like the dinner that we had, I mean, we did the busiest day of the show, which was a Saturday, and it was insane. Like we were exhausted already by the time we got there. But again, we still hung out until like 3:30. So, but it was still a fun time, and that's one of those moments. It's like, yeah, I'm going to remember that, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, and you've got the awesome story that you get to share again, because look at what we're talking about. It all fits. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Time Prophet. Hope your wife gets better. Yeah. And I just want to say, Time Prophet and Lurch have organized like a gameplay session. Like I was just watching it, like in the comments go through, and I just loving it. I just love it. You guys like talking about games and stuff, and yeah, it's great.
Heck yeah. Live chat.
Yeah, it's great. But so then they decide to go and defeat evil. they headed to Books from Beyond,
Yeah.
and that was cool.
Yes.
So yeah, I like when Ash gets there and he's like, well, the bookstore owner is like, do you know what this book is? And Ash just kind of like pretending he knows what it is, and he goes, well, yeah, but you might want to let them know what it is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, this book is and he says all about like how it was written by what are they called, the Dark Ones, and it inked from the blood of the bodies of the damned, and it's or human blood, and it's all kinds of like, it's really messed up, and he's like, Ash is like, is there a way that, like, let's say someone read from it and, like really screwed up. Is there a way to put the evil back?
Yep.
I love that. Yeah. And
I released it. Can we put it back, please? Without saying, I released it. Can we put it back, please? That's how Ash does it,
That episode, yeah, what they did with that demon thing was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, that demon was nuts.
Yeah, I love the effect that they did. So basically that book, the shopkeeper, he read from the book.
Yep.
Because they're trying to figure out how to stop the evil, and he thinks he translated it properly, but he doesn't really know because it's a dead language. And he goes, all right, you know what we do? Ash is like, yeah, maybe we should summon a demon and find out. And Pablo's like, yeah, wait, no, you can't do that. Or if you do, you know how powerful they are. You're right. We should find a really low level little piss head demon. Yeah. And that way we could stop him right away and throw him. Good thinking, Pablo. He's like, no. I didn't say we got to summon a demon. No. You're right. We should. So he flips through the book and he sees like this little thing. It's like this little kind of it looked like something out of a jar.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny because those things were all around the room. So he thought it was this little nothing demon, and basically they make the circle with the salt and all the weird signs and shit, and they're like, don't break it. It was almost like the Winchesters there, Supernatural. Like, yeah, they would like trap the ghosts and stuff, and like in a circle of salt. So they did like this kind of thing, and he goes, yeah, we could summon it, and it won't go anywhere. So he reads from the book, but as he's doing this, like that black cop, like she pops up there because she's kind of following Ash, and she thinks he's responsible for the murders and stuff, and kind of what's been going on because the trailer park, there was a bloodbath basically that he left behind.
Well, he kind of is when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that girl as well, the blonde, all that situation. So she thinks he's this killer. The people at the trailer park said that he was a crazy guy and all that. So they get the sketch of him, and so she walks in on this, and Kelly ends up stopping her, and they handcuff her. They summon this demon, and like the cop is trying to convince Kelly like to set her free. And, Kelly's like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know what's going on. And Ash is a hero. He saved me, and he saved Pablo's life. So as they're doing that in the other room, everything crazy is going on, and the lights go out, and this thing gets summoned, and it's a horrific demon where it looks like the entire body is like continuously moving as it's standing still, but the mouth isn't. It's staying in place. And this thing is grotesque. And he's like, holy crap, I thought this was a little low-level demon. And he's like, yeah, first thing you got to do is update your profile in that book. Because you look nothing like the image depicted of you. And he's some kind of, mind flayer demon thing. And it's telling him that, it's going to kill him and it's going to devour the world.
Yeah, like it preys on the spiritually weak. And I love when Ash goes, well, he can do that in his own time.
Yeah. His lines are so great in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the cop did convince Kelly to set her free because like they come into the room and she pulls the gun and Ash kind of he kicks the circle and he breaks the salt circle and that thing gets free. And it's jumping all over the place. It grabs him and it's like frying his mind and you can see it's severing all the connections in his brain.
Yep.
It was pretty awesome.
Wicked, dude.
Oh, dude, it was excellent what they did, and like she's freaking the fuck out too. The cop, she didn't know what the hell's going on. Did she get knocked out? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember what the hell happened.
They handcuffed her in the other room. Like there was like the front part.
But Kelly set her free because that's how Ash ended up breaking the circle because she came out with the gun. And he's like, "What the hell, Kelly? Why'd you set her free?" Like it was like that kind of shit happened.
That's right. Yep. And
she might have got knocked out.
Yeah, I think she did get knocked out. I think you're right about that.
I'm gonna skim through it while we're talking. Yeah, it kind of bugs me. I don't remember exactly what happened, but the one who was the guy who was reading the book, he was killed. Like, they took him out pretty quick.
Well, he got possessed.
Yeah,
he got possessed after.
Yeah, yeah, we see that he's possessed after they're already gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Ruby shows up. That's when we see.
Come on, being a fan, you already knew he was going to be possessed. Like we knew it. You had to know it. It's like there's no way he's not gonna.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's so funny because before they did this, before they had the bookstore guy do the incantation, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready. I've always wanted to commune with the darkness or commune with evil or something like that." It's like this didn't set off a red flag to anybody. Like I don't know. Like maybe this
yeah. He was definitely he waited all his life
forward to it. Hey, we should definitely do this. I've always wanted to talk to the damned and the dead.
Yeah,
and, check into the darkness.
Yeah, it was basically his life's work. Because the guy was like, maybe we shouldn't read from the book and summon a demon. He's like, and what? And destroy your all your hopes and dreams. You said you've been waiting all your life to read from a book like this. Goes, no, you're right. Like Ash convinced them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Yeah. When they thought that they defeated the demon, because Kelly hits the demon with the book because they can't stop him, and he had Pablo and Ash, and he was messy. He was frying their brains, and she swung the book at him, and it looked like he got sucked into the book. And then, they were going to the car, and he goes, "I'll fall right behind," and he helps the cop up, and then he handcuffs her, and I'm sorry, she handcuffed Ash.
Yeah.
And it was his wooden hand. So he took it off, flipped it around, and handcuffed her back into the place and said, like, listen, we could team up, but you didn't want to. You want to try to stop me. That's not good. So I'm going to leave you here, and we're going to get rid of this thing. So they leave, and she's in there with the guy, well, the corpse of the guy who ends up turning into a deadite. He's got like glass all shoved in his face. And they left it like in a cliffhanger that episode. Yeah. And and Ash, he got convinced by Pablo that because Pablo's uncle is some kind of witch doctor dude.
Brujo.
A Brujo, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's gonna because Pablo said that he was being taught the ways, and then he didn't really want to do it.
Because he said earlier, I think in a little bit back, that his uncle was a shaman. Like when he was talking with Ash at some point, I just can't remember when, but it was like pre this.
Right.
Yeah, it was in the first episode when Ash was telling him like 30 years ago, me and my friends went to a cabin, blah blah blah, and then after that, Pablo was like, my uncle is a shaman, and he said that there's one person not just one person, but there are certain people that can stand up to evil. I think you're one of them, Jefe.
Yeah.
And Ash is like, no, I'm out of here. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he's always looking for a way out still. Even like with as much of a badass as he is, and like he saved the day in the first episode, and then kind of what led to the second one and this third one. The third one he went back to like, he made a big mistake by summoning this man. So
like classic Ash fashion. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
classic Ash.
Again.
you end up finding out. So in the beginning of the fourth episode, this was great. Ruby does show up and she saves the cop from being killed by the dude who's possessed. And the dude who's possessed, like, they recognize her, and like like he's about to say something and she kills him before he could finish saying what he could say. And she was like, "Who the hell are you?" And she was basically that she's someone who's trying to stop this guy Ash as well, and she wants to get the book and stop all this madness from happening. So they kind of team up, and as they're team up, like they're in Ruby's car, and she goes, "Well, how are we supposed to find them?" And she goes, "With this," and she opens up like her trunk and she gets out this thing that's wrapped up. It's Ash's hand, the one that he chopped off in Evil Dead 2, and it looks even more like grotesque and demonic, but it ain't moving. She goes, "This thing hasn't moved in 30 years, and the last couple of days it has been, and it's kind of like leading the way for where Ash is. It keeps pointing towards where he is." So that's how we find out that how she knows exactly where Ash is, or she shows up right afterwards.
Yep.
So she's using his hand to find him, which I thought was really awesome, and that's like one of those.
That is amazing. I love that. That is really good writing, using the hand as a compass, and how it has come alive after 30 years because Ash fucking read from the book. And
Well, again, this is episode 4. We're 4 episodes deep, and it's been explained. And again, we've had her, so it's like, how is she figuring? She's always a couple steps behind him, and it explains it. Again, it made so much sense once they did that. 4 episodes in. Great storytelling.
So great. And safe to say, if you come across Ash, there's 50-50 chance of possession and seeing him fight a Deadite.
And or also winding up dead.
Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, that's why
you're going to turn into the Deadite. It's like, well, shit, I guess I'm next.
Well, the whole season, we're like, okay, like, are they going to be killing these characters off soon? Because at first, like, I thought Pablo was going to be cannon fodder, like, within the first episode or two.
Yeah.
And they've been surviving. I'm like, oh, all right. Like, the whole thing, you're like, oh, yeah, when are they going to be taken out? And you get to a point where, like, I hope they don't get taken out, because you end up loving them. Their characters are so great, and like the growth that
Pablo
they have.
Gets the worst of it, Vinny. Like, I'm not spoiling anything, but I think out of the 3 main cast members, that poor guy.
Oh yeah, Pablo got the shit under the stick for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, we're not getting to the other seasons yet. Well, this one
the guy
alone,
with the most hope for Ash, right? Like, yes, it's you. Yes, I swear that's why he gets the raw end of the deal, man.
Yeah. Well, Let's give it to him. So the episode 4. So they're driving to get to the Brujo there, Pablo's uncle, and it's a beautiful area and stuff. Like, and they're going down this long path, and you could start to see like there's markers all over the place, and kind of, I guess, to ward off evil. But evil's chasing them, so they have, like, again, the famous Sam Raimi shot through the forest, and it's coming towards them, and it hits like the back of his camper. That's hooked onto his car. His car, again, his famous Deltas, that's what they're in there. They're driving all around in. And he's like, "Oh, damn, no, I got something special for that." And he goes, "What's that?" Flip that switch. He's got nitrous in the Delta.
Yep.
and he's outrunning the spirit coming after them. But then, like, the engine kind of blows.
Like, he gets nitrous for like 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
not even. It was hilarious. And then it's like, oh my god, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? They get past the threshold, and then, like, and the evil stop, like, that stuff warded it off, which was good.
Yeah.
But the whole time in the back seat, Kelly's getting bad migraines. You find out she actually, that demon that she hit with the book that they summoned, it didn't go into the book, it went into her.
Yep.
And this was pretty awesome. Like, that whole episode was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
They don't know it. None of them know it.
Yeah.
And like the Brujo, even like when he kind of sees like something's wrong, he's like, she had a bad headache or whatever, and she went to go rest in the camper, and she goes, go get your friends some water and whatnot. And he goes to check out Ash, because Pablo's like, yeah, he might be one of them. He might be one of the jefes. And he's like, I don't know. We shall see. And he looks at him and like he like blows smoke in his face, and he's looking. He goes, "You're right. I do sense something." He goes, "The light is dim, but there is a spark there." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "He called me dim."
And Ash is like, "Oh, all right, that's great. There's, I have light." And the Brujo is like, "No, this is bad." Like,
Yeah, he's like, it's barely a flicker.
Barely a flick.
So he needs to. He goes, "You need to go on a journey. You have to find yourself." And like, "Oh, how are you gonna do it?" And he told him like,
with ayahuasca.
yeah. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna make me trip on acid?"
I'm down.
So like he sits down and like he gives him this drink, and it's he gets like this extremely bad trip where like he's in another place altogether, and like he ends up in it almost looks like a cemetery, and he can't see anything. Like his eyes are all sewn up, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, "You have to look deep inside yourself. You have to find yourself. You have to find the hero that you were meant to be." And he's like, "What the hell?" He's like, "This is your trip, Ash." She's like, "Wait a minute, that's right." And like he was able to make himself see fine, and you see all these things that are kind of reaching out for him. What the hell is this? He's like, "Well, you have to control it." He's like, "All right." And he thought of something amazing, a place where he wants to be, a place because he's kind of guiding him. The Brujo's kind of guiding him, and he's like, "Think of a beautiful place you always wanted to be, or whatever." And you see him sitting on a dock like at sunset. And you're like, "Where is this?" And he goes, "Jacksonville, the best place on earth." And it's like, "What? Jacksonville, Florida? What?" And he's like, "That's where he was supposed to take his girlfriend Linda after the cabin trip."
Yep.
And he's got a little postcard, and he was always looking at this postcard. So that's where he kind of is. And as he's there, like he's tripping, and he sees his little friend, his little lizard pet. And he's like, "Oh my God!" I forgot what his name is.
Eli.
Eli, you're here, and it can talk, and it's talking to him.
Yes.
And he's like, "What the hell?" And he goes, "Oh my God!" And he has his hand's back. He's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "I got a beer in one hand. You know what? I got my other hand. You know what I need? Another beer in it."
Yeah.
And he's sitting there, and he's like, "What are you doing, Ash?" She's like, "I'm finally gonna relax." And he's like, "You can't relax. You have to find yourself." And like as he's going through this spiritual journey, you cut back to Pablo and Kelly, and Kelly's just getting more and more, screwed up in the head. And Pablo wants to do something special for Ash, and he's like, "Hey, while we're waiting for him to find himself, like I'm gonna do something cool. Like, what are you doing?" And he had like an old like Nintendo like Power Glove thing, and he's got all these contraptions and stuff, and he's like making him like basically a new hand. Which is kind of funny and cool. And the whole time he's working on this thing, like Kelly is like, she's trying like to hit on him now. She wants Pablo to come over because she's got a plan to make him suffer and then wanting to kill Pablo. And because she was trying to fight it, but then it gets her, and it completely controls her. And you see like the black go over her eyes, but she's faking it. And now all of a sudden, from having this bad migraine, now she's got the hots for Pablo. And she's like, "Stop doing what you're doing. Come over here." And she's like, she's kind of being extra flirtatious. And she's like, "Yeah, like, why don't we just get together?" And he's getting excited. She goes, "But let's get high or something first." And she grabs Ash's sort of shotgun. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, don't be a pussy." She goes, my brother's old army buddies used to do this. And she was using the barrel of the gun to put the weed in and light it up, and using it like a bong, doing hits through the shotgun. And she's trying to convince him to do the same. And he almost does. And as they're doing it, she's trying to slip the shotgun in the shell into the hole to fucking blow his head off. And yeah, she kind of like outs herself basically. And Pablo doesn't get killed, but he sees that she's possessed. No. Wait a minute. No, they didn't slip at that part. I'm getting things confused because they do lead back over to Ash when he's having his trip, because she shows up in the room with them. Yeah, I jumped the gun a bit. Yeah, that part didn't happen until a little bit later, because they go to check on them, and Ash is still like out cold, and Pablo and his uncle, like, they had to go do something else. They go, oh yeah, watch over Ash, and you see Kelly jumps on top of him, and you see she puts her hands over his head while he's still out cold, and his beautiful trip that he's having in Jacksonville starts to get, like, the clouds get all black. What the hell's going on? And it's basically it's controlling him and puts him back into the cabin, and he thinks that he's being attacked or whatever, and he's strangling Kelly. And they walk in and see that, and like, what the hell? And they knock Ash out, and they tie him up, and they gag him. And she starts going, oh my God, that demon from the bookstore, it's in Ash. And he's like, you're full of shit. Like, he's got the thing in his mouth, and he's like, you're fucking full of shit, you bitch. He's like, see, he's speaking in tongues. He's like, are you believing this bullshit?
That was so well done.
Oh, it was great.
They got him muffled, but you can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. That was so funny.
And you know damn well that's just how he would be, because that's just that character.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. But I mean, they end up. Yeah. Then the shotgun thing happens a little bit later in the episode, and he convinces the Brujo. He's like, he takes the gag off. He's like, you idiot! Pablo's about to get killed because they heard the shotgun blast. He goes, it was in her the whole time. She's been lying. And they run over there, and they tie her up, and then, like, they start waterboarding her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is crazy. But it's doing every, like, possessed demonic thing that you'd see, like, out of The Exorcist. Like, it's all the holy water and stuff, like they made her drink. Like, she just pisses it out on herself, and like, oh.
And Ash goes, well, we've all been there.
Yeah.
That
was awesome. But yeah, so basically they need to trick the demon to come out, because it's crunching out molars and spitting it out at them. It's doing all sorts of weird shit. So they kind of convince it, like, was it Pablo who did it? I think it was Pablo who goes, he'll be the vessel because it's killing Kelly. He's like, I can handle it. And he's coming to me. And you see, like, it's crawling out of her mouth. It was really cool. They did the effects.
Yeah.
But as it jumps out, then, like, they're trying to stop it. And, and Ash is, he's shooting at it, but it keeps disappearing and reappearing. And then he goes, well, in your trip, like, what did it say? How did you defeat these things before? He goes, well, shoot first, ask questions later. Don't think, shoot first, ask questions later. So he's like, oh yeah, why don't I just do that? And he just, like, he throws his gun up in the air and spins and all this. He's trying, he finds the perfect timing, and then as it disappeared and reappeared, it reappeared right in front of his shotgun, and he blasts it away.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Some badass Ash stuff. And his trip said he has to go back to where it all began. He can't figure out what the hell that means. But in the process of all this stuff, the Brujo, he did get killed. Pablo's uncle. So in order for him not to come back, like, they go and they burn the body. And when they do, like, they feel horrible because they just had to bury Kelly's parents. Now they had to bury his uncle, and Pablo starts to hear his uncle's voice, and then the little necklace, the charm he had around his neck, it like, he was saying that, he reached out to him, and he goes to pick it up, and he was burning his hand because they just burned his uncle's body. So he's like, holy shit, this is hot. But he's like, he goes, he has to take it. Like, he heard his uncle was like, I'll always be with you. And so he puts the necklace on, and it's still hot as hell. But he goes, I think my Brujo, he's guiding me. Like, I think I could help you, Ash. And, like, he's like, they have this cool kind of connection, this kind of teamwork thing that they're doing. So they go to leave, and you see the cop and Ruby, they catch up to the place. They get there, and they see, like, things already went down. But
before they leave, they have a gift for Ash.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, they gave him the power glove hand. He's got a new hand now.
Yes.
And he's like, what the hell? He goes, yeah, Hefe, I made this for you. And yeah, he puts it on, and like the way he puts it on, it's like he knows what it is already type thing, and it's got like the power grip on it and all this shit, and it's got all these little kind of gadgets to it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Which was
And,
great.
and Pablo goes, "You can make a fist with that," and he's like, "Yeah," and he makes a fist, and then as the show, as like that segment is ending, he gives Pablo the finger,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's so funny.
Oh, it was great. What a great show. But yeah, so yeah, Ruby and the cop, they show up, and Ruby, she has an encounter while they're there, and basically like the remains of the uncle jumps out of the shadow and out of the ashes rather, and attacks them and pulls her into the fire, and then you just see like a big explosion. And she's like, Ruby, where are you? And like, you don't see anything. It's just like nothing but ash and flames. And she's like, oh my God. So she goes back towards the car and the hand's gone. She's like, what the hell? What is going on? So like she's left with the car and not really knowing where to go. And they cut to Ash, Kelly, and Pablo, and they're in a diner. And basically like, he's kind of he's got a new like lease on life, basically. Like he's kind of like, all right, so we have to figure this out. Like, in order to stop this evil, we're gonna go back to where it began, back to where he's like, the only thing you think of is the cabin, like and like, he needs to make that trek over there, but he doesn't want them going with him. Like they're having this conversation, and like basically like he's treating them to like a Denny's kind of meal, and then he puts them on the spot, and he's like, yeah, cough up the bucks for it. And he's like, whoa. Like, Hefe. Yeah, Pablo goes, Hefe, you said that it was your treat. He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, no. I thought we were splitting it. That's why I ordered the fruit cup. But he was eating everything else. Pancakes, waffles, sausage, whatever. Like he was putting it on them. And he's like, we don't have any money. It's like, get to the RV. I'll handle this. And then he's got like that clip that I played on my channel where he calls over the waitress and he's gonna woo her. And he's like, listen, I don't have the $12.95 to pay for this, but I can give you something that's way more valuable than this. Yeah, $12.95. and he's like, he wants to take her into the restroom and bang her, and she's like, yeah, you see the guy back there, the chef? That's my husband. And he's, oh, so we got to keep this on the down low. Okay, yeah, I don't want to be a home wrecker or nothing. He's like, meet me in the John in 5 minutes. So he gets in there and like he fills up the sink and he crushes like the breath mints and he's swirling it in there and using it as like cologne.
Oh man!
He's like, yeah, I do me all day.
Yeah, pulling what was his name in Silence of the Lambs? That guy,
Buffalo Bill.
Yes, that's it.
He didn't tuck nothing between his legs.
No, he didn't do that.
But and as he's getting all he's prepping himself up. There's like a kid who's taking a dump in the stall. The door kicks open and he turns around and he's like, "Yeah, I know waitresses, they never really get a big tip, but today you will." And it's the cop, and she's like, she grabs his arm, twists it, throws him into the urinal.
Yes, face
like
first, right into the trough.
Yeah, the piss trough. Oh my God!
That was so gross.
And then she pulls him into the main room, and they're all looking at him. He's like, "Baby, you just missed your chance."
That was funny. That struggle they had in the bathroom.
That was hilarious.
Time Prophet asks a question: do you think Ash will ever use a machine gun? I really hope not.
He used something bigger and better in the last episode of season 3.
I hope that his main thing is always a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I hope they don't upgrade his weapon.
Yeah, his boomstick. That's
it's. I mean, think about it. You got one hand. Okay, It's kind of hard to load a magazine This, you just, in, out, other than like doing the Terminator 2 with the rifle that you could flip like Arnold does. I mean, I don't see. Yeah, he needs to stick with the double barrel.
Yeah.
It's just and it's just like it's a signature weapon at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is.
It's awesome. But yeah, crazy stuff happens, and yeah, she calls for the backup. Backup gets there, and as you're kind of hashing everything out, because he's almost getting help. They're like, yeah, no, I'm the only one who can stop this. He's like, what are you talking about? Stop what? He goes, that, and you see like they did the same Raimi thing where the evil comes in and it explodes the window of the diner. You see the kids, like the teenagers who are standing near the window, they get like ripped in half, and one's in the ceiling fan. All sorts of crazy shit was going down, and the cop gets possessed. The other one that's there, not the female one, but the backup that she called for. The waitress gets possessed, and that was again when she's possessed. That's a stunt woman that I knew from the convention scene as well, and she got messed up during that scene.
Right?
Wow.
For real, yeah. They're like she has a couple of scenes with Ash where she basically she gets thrown over and she throws him over. Like the bar area of the diner thing. But when she gets knocked from the one main room into the kitchen area, she bashed her head and her elbow really damn hard, where she was like partially concussed.
Ooh.
Yeah, which sucks. But I mean, she did a good job with the whole scene and everything.
Yeah, stunt doubles don't get enough recognition.
No. But I'm glad though she did get. It wasn't just that she was just a double for the waitress. She played the Deadite version of the waitress the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Kelly comes in there, and you see Kelly's got like a bloodlust now, and she just wants to keep killing these things, and she puts her head in the meat slicer.
Oh yeah. Oh, and yeah, that was so awesome, and I love how she when she shows up in the diner, she's like, "Hey Ash," and she throws Ash his chainsaw and gun.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was a great shot.
Yeah, that was awesome. They did so many cool things in this whole series, but
Really, they did.
yeah.
And also in the diner, he meets his old friend who used to be an alcoholic, but now he belongs to a militia.
Yeah, he's like 1 week sober.
Yeah.
1 week. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
you run into
He's like,
Ash.
I'm finally off the sauce, and I can think clearly. Oh yeah, how long? About a week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lem, right? Like, it was Lem?
Yeah, Lem. Yeah.
Yeah. So as all this is going down, like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go back to the force and the militia or whatever. And, he's kind of telling him, if you ever need anything, come meet up with us over there. But it's like right as the evil hit, like he ran out the back door. But yeah, at the end of the episode, you see him like running through the forest, and it looks like something got him. But you don't know what exactly happened. And in the meantime, basically, like since the cops saw firsthand how Ash actually does save the day, they kind of team up a bit, and she's with them now. So now it's Ash, Kelly, Pablo, and the cop.
Yeah.
Amanda. Right?
Amanda.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was. Yeah. So So and they're flirting and shit too, and like he sees something else in his head, like she's hitting on him. He's like, yeah, of course we'll do it. And he's like, do what? Fight evil together, and because
Yeah,
she
he's like-
is good looking. Yeah.
He's like, we need someone with your physical qualities.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. So yeah, so she's with them. But at the end of the episode, the very end of the episode, they cut to that pile of ash where Ruby was pulled into, and you see her like she wakes up out of it, and like all of her clothes are burned off, and you could see like something's up with her. She can't be normal. She can't be human at that point. And yeah, she looked damn good coming out of the ashes all naked.
Completely naked, yes.
Yeah.
And it was her, not a stunt double.
Yeah, I
They-
can confirm that was definitely her.
Yeah, that was her.
that was her body shape and everything. I mean, again, I saw her like a couple weeks out from when they finished this.
They
yeah.
pulled the Game of Thrones, and they had her emerge from the pile of ash like Daenerys.
Yeah,
Her hair is still intact.
and
And-
she's
Right.
like jewelry on.
Yeah, jewelry. Yep, gold, which would have absolutely melted because it's
Yeah,
easy to melt gold.
But it was great. It was an awesome scene, and she almost looked like freaking like Arnold, like the Terminator. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
like,
true.
how she
Yep.
just got up like that, and like she's like on a mission basically. We don't know what's going on, where she's going, and what else is happening. But yeah, so the whole next episode, it's this militia episode, and yeah, so Ash and them, they'll get there, and they have guns that are pulled on them. They get kind of pulled in by these guys. They bring them to their compound, like, who the hell are you? You work for the government. Like, they went like extra crazy, NRA nut job guys, and you're like, listen, my friend Lem, you know Lem? Yeah. He said that we could stop by here if we needed anything, and we were passing through because I got to get back to my old place there. And he's like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." And what the hell's going on here? And like these guys were being ripped apart and all that. And they go, "Who did it?" Lem did it. They were like, "What? What do you mean Lem did it?" Like he's all confused. And as it's happening, like you see, like you could hear like someone's on the roof. Shit's going on. Like what the hell? They're all scared, and the front door opens up. And one of them kind of goes to peek his head out, and he gets pulled in, or pulled outside rather, and you just see blood kind of splatter all over the place. Like, he's in. They're all shitting their pants. So like, we got to get the hell out of here.
And they get even extra paranoid at that point. They think, and at the same time, they're thinking that
it was a bioweapon. They're thinking.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, and that it's a bioweapon, and that the government released it, and that Ash, Pablo, and Kelly, and Amanda are all from the government.
Yeah, they want to see their handiwork, is what they think.
Yep.
So they split them up, and they take Ash and Amanda and they throw them like in like this underground bunker thing, and they said that's where Lem ran into. So they toss them in there, and like, yeah, you'll meet up with your old buddy, and then and like Kelly and Pablo, they kind of didn't they escape at that point?
Yeah, they run off into the nearby woods.
Yeah, they got out in time in the back, through the back, and and Ash and Amanda, they were behind, so that's how they got caught. So the rest of the militia, they go grab Pablo and Kelly. They're trying to find them, and they do get caught at one point.
Yeah,
and as they get caught, one of the guys who was supposed to, like, something looked wrong with him, like he was one of the bodies that got back up. They're like, "Oh my God, you're all right." Like, he's not all right. He had a gas mask on, so you couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
So as he's approaching, they're freaking out. Pablo, he was handcuffed in the back of like the pickup, and the other guys are getting ripped apart. And Kelly, didn't she was driving at one point, right?
Yeah. She gets in. She drives the truck, and Pablo is in the back, and they like back into the guy with the mask on, the Deadite guy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't kill him. Well, they think it does, and she's like, "Okay, you have to grab his mask," and then like he goes to grab the mask, but wait a minute, I'm getting confused here. No, okay, yeah. Pablo fills him full of bullets and kills him, and then she's like, "You have to grab his mask," and then he's like, "Oh no," and he's like all grossed out, but he does eventually get the mask because they want to go back in, but they need to be undercover.
Right, yeah. What else happened there? Yeah, I'm trying to remember the other part, but because Kelly almost killed Pablo, because the one dude, they pinned him to the tree. He was still grabbing on Pablo, and she used a machine gun, and she started spraying. She couldn't control it.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Don't kill me!" And every time you see that she goes to shoot, like the Deadite keeps grabbing Pablo.
Yeah,
and you see his head and his hair flopping around. No, don't shoot! Every time, he gets pulled down, she gets a shot into his body.
The first time I watched the show, I was convinced, okay, this is where Pablo dies.
Yeah. The way they were doing it was hilarious. But he's like, oh my God, like every time she shoots the gun, he's like
looking and he's absolutely has a terrified look on his face, and he's trying to like duck from the bullets.
Yeah.
It is so well done.
Oh, it is. It's so fucking. It's so great. Everything
then-
about it's excellent.
And like she's getting like really used to it, and she's like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, she definitely has like the bloodlust thing going on.
Yeah.
Where was I? Yeah, I'm trying to find like the next segment that happened. Because I mean, like Ash and Amanda, like they're down in the bunker. I know that. And
Yeah.
Lem's kind of chasing them. Like he poured like gasoline all over himself, and he wants to burn himself and all of them together. And,
Yeah,
you know,
he even
and as
drank it.
yeah, but as they're alone, like they're getting extra flirtatious, and you can see like they have the hots for one another. Even though they almost kiss at one point, and Lem interrupts them.
Yeah.
Like like they're having fun, and since they're handcuffed, they're working well together and all that too. Yeah, they stop Lem, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't. They were working well together. I really did enjoy that. They
Mhm.
were good chemistry between them.
Yeah, they really did. They did well together.
Yeah. So in the end of all that, basically, like they stop Lem, and like most of the militia are dead at this point. And yeah, like Ash knows where he has to go. He's got to get back to the cabin. And as they're all kind of like bonding together or whatever, he slips away. He's like, where the hell did Ash go? And the first thing you see the hand crawling by itself,
Mhm.
and it makes it to the cabin. And like you see it like on a little hill, and it goes down towards the cabin, like it's running to go inside the cabin. And then you see Ash, like he makes it there, and you see him like he drops his duffel bag, and he's like he looks at it, he puts his chainsaw on, he's got his shotgun, and he's like, honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
He doesn't want any of them to die, because he knows if they get there, anyone who goes to the cabin dies. So he's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna risk my friends there, which is great, because like you could see like he's being the hero. He knows he's got to bury that book on the cabin grounds, essentially. And yeah, because that's what his vision kind of told me. He kind of deciphered it and all that. But yeah, and the next episode, like you see him there, and oh my God, they recreated that cabin to perfection.
Yeah, they did such a great job with that. And one thing I liked about that scene is when he's walking up to the cabin. Did you notice that the swinging bench was banging against the cabin like it did in Evil Dead 1?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I love how they did that.
Yeah.
And Time Prophet says that both Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi grew up in the same town and met at school. Yep, I knew that.
Yeah. Hey, I read his book, If Chins Could Kill, or whatever it was, and Confessions of a B actor, whatnot. And yeah, he has the whole story in there too. He's got photos and stuff. They were making Super 8 films together when they were kids.
That's awesome.
Pretty damn sweet. And yeah, that's when they all came together and decided. What do you call it? Tappert as well. The one who was married to Lucy. He was one of the ones. He was from the original, from the original stories and shit, and they were coming up together. But yeah, on his way to the cabin, as he's walking towards it, like he sees like all these dead birds and things, and he picks up one of them. He's like, yeah, Tweety, I'm sorry. He goes, everything seems to die around here. And then the head looks up at him, and he goes, ah! He freaks out and throws it, and you see it explode on a tree.
Yes.
That was hilarious. Like, you see this thing, it's got a dead eye, and it's all possessed.
Yeah, like coughs. It's like, and then he chucks it. He's like, and he chucks it.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes back in there, and he's looking all around, and he hears someone at the door, and he turns around, and he's ready to just blow the head off or whatever it is, and it's them. It's Amanda and them. He's like, I almost blew your head off. What the hell are you doing here? And she's like, we weren't gonna let you do this alone. He's like, nah, you weren't supposed to be here. Anyone who comes here dies. And he's like, no, we're gonna put an end to this and all that. They're trying to come up with like a little plan of what they're gonna do, and he's like, yeah, this cabin. Like I took my ex here. And, you know, they opened up the door. He's like, I don't think anyone was getting laid in here. I was much nicer back in the day. But you never know. Again, he's got all these great liners, one-liners and shit. Anyway, but yeah, and then like the deer head falls off the wall, and like you know she's looking at it, and she just like has a flash of her partner when he died and all that. And he's like, you got to be careful. He goes, this cabin's going to play head games on you. You know, that's what it does. It's like pure evil in here. You know. And,
Yep. And then we also see his hand crawling through the walls, and it's growing.
Yeah, behind the walls. You see all these maggots.
Yeah.
And you think it's chopped off. It looks like a Frankenstein stitch work kind of thing. And you see more of the forearm, and there's maggots all over, and the maggots are growing more and more and more of him.
Yep.
Like it crawls past the mouse behind the wall. Like it was disturbing, but it looks so good.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure it out. Where did Pablo and Kelly? Where were they going? Because they separated.
Yeah, they separated. So they kind of so they're looking for, like they separated from Amanda, and they are like looking for the cabin. And
that's right. Yeah, they went. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's what it was. It was just Amanda that found the cabin first because they went in different directions to try. Yeah, you're right. To get the lay of the land. Yeah, and they got lost. Yeah, Kelly and Pablo got lost in the woods. Yeah, and so it's just Amanda and Ash that are in the cabin, and at that point he's like, yeah, we have to get into the basement area. That's where he wants to bury the book. And he's like, yeah, you don't want to go. No one wants to go down there. He goes, it's truly horrific, but he goes, that's the place we got to do it. And they can't get the locks off of the chains off of the basement door. So he goes, I think there's a crowbar or something in the tool shed. She goes, oh, I'll go get it. He goes, no, you don't want to go there. She goes, why? I didn't want to say this before, but my ex-girlfriend, I had to chop her head off, and then basically her head is in a vise, and I had to saw it in half. It's really grotesque, and she's looking like she's kind of scared. He's like, oh, well, she was possessed. She did this crazy dance in the moonlight, but you don't want to see that. So he's like, I'll go get it. She's like, oh, okay, I'll stay here then. So he goes to open up the door, and it's kind of stuck. He goes to get inside, and as he does, he's like, hey, Linda, and you just see like the skeleton of her head with like the crack in it from when he saw the head. And there's like, like a millipede or something going inside of it. It's all gross looking. So he's like, he goes to turn around to leave, and the door closes on him, and he can't get out. And then you hear Linda's voice, and it's over his shoulders like, this ain't happening. This isn't happening. You don't love me anymore, Ash. Like, it's great because whoever they got to play that Linda looks exactly like the Linda from Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, look, the look was so good that at first I was like, wait a minute, is that the same woman? And I'm like, nah, it can't be.
Yeah, I don't. It was so good. It was someone completely different. Had to be, but oh my god, that was spot on. Excellent casting. Holy crap! So he's trapped in the tool shed, and then Amanda is she's in the main room there, but Ash pops up while she checks out one of the rooms. She hears the piano, and it was a mouse that ran across the keys, and he's waiting in the doorway, and she's like, oh, I didn't hear you. And he's like, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I think we should just get together and get out of here. She's like, what are you talking about? You have to bury the book. And he's like, nah, I'm sick of this. It's been 30 years. We'll leave it to someone else because this is just too much. And he's trying to convince her and woo her and all that, and it's working. She's like, yeah, we could be together or whatever. And he goes to caress her face with his hand, and it's his right hand. It's the back of his right hand, and she leans into it all smiling, and then she feels it and looks at it and goes, oh my god, what the hell happened? He goes, what? That's me. She goes, that looks like. This is my hand. I grew it back, or it grew me. What's the difference? He goes, that looks like the same creepy hand that Ruby had. She goes, "What are you, like some kind of freaky tumor?" He's like, hey, name calling isn't nice. And then he goes to attack her, and like they're basically like running around inside the cabin, and yeah, he gets her at one point, and she starts smashing her head and stuff into the plates in the kitchen. And again, everything looks exactly like from Evil Dead 2. Everything, the paint on the walls, everything was so spot on. But
Yeah, they did a great job with that.
yeah, they did. And she grabs a cleaver and she chops off the hand, and he starts screaming, and you see the blood spouting out. He's like, "You bitch! I just grew me back! You bitch!" And then she goes to go grab him again. He's whoa. And then he swipes it out of her hand, spins her, and he puts the cleaver into her. And it's like, that was a moment like, oh no, like they really did that. Like he kind of wanted her to survive, you know, but it's like embedded in her neck and in her collarbone. And she's like, you know, she's freaking out and spitting blood. And he's like, we played that clip on my channel too. Goes, "That's what I call cleavage."
Yeah. We got a couple of questions. Okay, so Soul Assassin asks, how much did they say the season cost to produce? I think it was from what I read, I think it was between 15 and 19 million. And wow. It did well. Mm-hmm. And now Time Prophet says perhaps they used the same face mold they used in Evil Dead 2. It could be, because
for Linda?
For
what do you mean the same face mold? If you're referring to Linda, it's a moving head. It's talking and everything.
Yeah, that's right. That is actually I forget that actress's name. I can't. Oh man.
Which one?
The one that played Linda in this episode.
Oh, you remembered her name?
Now I forget, but yeah. It is a new actress, but it does look so similar to the original.
Yeah, because the very original Linda was a different actress. She had more like a puffy face. The second one is the one that this one looks exactly like.
Yeah.
Because he that's how he disposed of her. He chopped off her head and then put it in the vice and all that. And then in Army of Darkness, in the very beginning of that's actually Bridget Fonda.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been
lines.
Yeah. There's been like 4 Lindas.
Yep. It's crazy, but it's great.
Yeah. It is. It's kind of funny. Like they should just keep on making different Lindas every time they have to do that scene.
But 2 and 4 look identical.
Yeah, they really do. That was so well done.
Yeah. She does not look like that though. Yeah, she did age. The one who barely aged was the one who played his sister. Holy crap! Have you seen her at conventions and stuff? We'll cover that in season 2. But oh my god, yeah, she looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
The one who was assaulted by the tree or by the forest.
Yeah, I can't remember. Was that her? Cheryl? No.
Yeah, wasn't it
Sheila?
I think it was Cheryl. Cheryl, yeah, Cheryl's his sister.
Cheryl was his girl. Wait.
No. There was Sheila. I think was the girlfriend to the other guy in the first movie.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, because his sister's name was similar to the other one.
Yeah, there was Cheryl and Sheila. Oh, Sheila was in Army of Darkness.
Oh, was that the one that was back in time there? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, okay, which one was Cheryl?
Cheryl and was it Shelley?
It's Shelley. That's.
There was in the first movie. It was Anne or Annie. Annie, Cheryl, Shelley, right?
Cheryl is Ash's sister.
Right.
Now.
She's like kind of had the big nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, again, they did a great job with all this stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could. Yeah, that. So Time Prophet is saying that sometimes they put prosthetics on the face. Yeah, that they could have done that.
yeah, I've seen it before, but I don't think that happened in this one. The one that was clearly the thing that they did with her was the hair. The hair, it had to be some kind of a wig. They
Mhm.
mimicked the look exactly from Evil Dead 2, but the actress's face, no, it was too clean and nice because the way her complexion, everything is, and the structure of her face, there was no crazy prosthetics. The only prosthetics were by the neckline where it was severed.
Right.
Because she has, I mean, they have close-ups on her, and she's given a lot of dialogue. She's freaking out. She's acting her ass off that whole scene. So yeah, that was not prosthetics. That was an actress who just looked damn close to the one from the second movie.
Yeah, I think it was really good casting, and I had her name in my head earlier, and now I forget, of course.
But there's stuff that you've seen her in before?
No, just like looking up the facts of
okay.
this episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, excellent stuff. So yeah, the whole scene that happens there, with that evil Ash, yeah, basically like Amanda's like crawling away, and she's like, we're gonna get you. I was like, he goes, you don't have much left, maybe a minute tops, maybe less than that. You're gonna be bleeding out. And like she goes to stand up, is like, oh, you got a little fight left in you. Oh, and then like you could see like they use like the demonic power or whatever, and they push her onto the antlers. And yeah, it's like all busted through her, and she's all stuck. And so it's not just the cleaver in her neck; it's that like there ain't no coming back from that.
Yeah.
And that's when like he slips away, and you see the other Ash. He can't take it anymore. He's in the our Ash. He's in the tool shed, and like they throw like buzzsaws at him, and he kind of dodges it and blocks it. And like he's like, no, he mans up. He smashes Linda the head, and like when he does, you see that it's a skull again, and like it goes into dust basically. And then he kicks the door down. He gets back into the main cabin, and then he finds Amanda. And he's like, no. He runs over, and like they have a tender kiss, and like he's holding her head, and he's so distraught. And then he turns around, and his evil version of him is like laughing at him, and he goes to chase him, and like he's chasing him around the cabin, and like they're having like a fight and all that. And Kelly and Pablo, in the meantime, they met up with a couple of campers, and the campers directed them towards the cabin. Like, well, could we stay with you? And they're like, no, you can't. But because the girls wanted to stay, the guy said, no, we're gonna keep going. So he's like, yeah, it's better that they stay away from us anyway. We don't know what the hell's out here, what could happen. So so Pablo and Kelly, they get there and they see Ash, and he's like, they see her, and they're like, oh my god, what the hell happened? He's like, they go, why did you kill Amanda? He's like, I didn't kill her. Technically, I did, but it wasn't me. And they're looking at him like, what the hell? It was the evil version of me. And like, what? I'm saying there's another me running around, and he's evil. I got to stop him. And they're like, did he lose his mind again? And you see him going through the rooms, and then they bust out on the floor, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And you see them fighting, and he goes, like he knows each other. They know each other. So he's like, oh, so that means if we are the same, so you know about that bum knee. And then he kicks him in the knee. Oh, what about that shoulder? And then like they push the piano, and like he knows all of his own weak spots, which is hilarious. And they have the same exact cuts on their face. They have the same marks all over their bodies. And Kelly pulled the machine gun out and like fired, and they all stopped. And she's like, we're gonna find out which one's the real Ash. And they're both very convincing. That moment was hilarious. Because they're like, what the hell? Shoot him. He's a piece of crap. He killed Amanda. And he's like, no, kill him. He's a piece of shit. And they're like, are you for real? And then like one of them says like a racist joke. And they go, that seems a little too on the nose. Like Kelly and Pablo are, he's more subtle with his racism. And then the other one goes, yeah, wait a minute, I could be racist too. And then he says something about the Chinese.
Asian babies.
Yep.
Yeah. And then one of the Ashes goes, you know what? Screw all this. You know what? Kill me. You know what? Kill us both. He goes, that way I can be done with this shit. Because
Yeah.
I am sick of this, sick of the evil, sick of the book, blah, blah, blah. And then Kelly just unloads on the other one.
Yep.
And they go, well, what the hell? And he goes, how did you know it was really me? He's like, oh, well, we know that you're racist, but you've never been racist against Asians. He's like, yeah, I made great Chinese food. Or he's like something along those lines. He's like,
Yeah.
why would it be racist towards the Chinese? Oh, it was fucking funny.
I always love the just fucking kill me already. I'm so sick of this evil shit. Like it's like, okay, that's our Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had enough of the Evil Dead. I'm done here. You know, you took my woman. You sent me to the past. 30 years later, you're still messing with me. That's it. I'm done.
Yep. Yep. I can totally that's totally Ash.
Yeah, it was great. And then he's got to chop up his body there. He's like, yeah, chopping up my evil clone. Yeah, that one day I hope that'll get tiring or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe one day it won't be weird chopping up.
Maybe one day this won't be weird. You know, it's like cutting up my own body. I mean, we've had mini hymns and
yeah, which was awesome. And then during all that shit, the campers come knocking on the door, and they're like, "What the hell?" And he's like, like they all run out there, and like, yeah, the path kind of it blocked up. Like we got lost. There was a clear path, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that happens down out here." And he goes, "Listen, we have to have a little meeting here." So Pablo, Kelly, and him are talking. And he's like, "Listen, these campers can't come in here. They come in here, they're going to turn into the dead. We got to kill them. I don't want to slaughter more innocent people."
I like how when they decide on a story, and then Ash, of course, Ash is the one to deliver it, and he's like, "Yeah, there's a body in here," and Kelly's like, "A deer body," and then he's like, he said something else, and Kelly's like, "Or because we're hunters." And like she has to keep on like fixing the story.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I got to chop them up with my chainsaw hand." Perfectly normal. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's two girls and a guy. So yeah, it's a couple and their friend who's this blonde. And the blonde, by the way, the blonde is actually Samara Weaving. She's Hugo Weaving's niece, the one who played Agent Smith in the Matrix movies.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And she's in that movie Hide and Seek, I think it was called.
Okay.
I knew she looked familiar.
Right. Yeah. She's like the cuter version of the Harley Quinn actress.
Yes, I agree. That's exactly what I thought.
They should play sisters in a movie. But anyway,
I know.
They're very similar.
They really do look alike.
She was great in here, and I liked her in that movie too. In that,
that movie was good.
That was surprisingly good. I didn't think it was going to be that good.
For a modern movie, it was really good.
Yeah, it was like a dark version of Clue.
Yeah, it's
like
true.
A horror version. So like they're coming up with this story, whatever. Like, yeah, you got to get them out of here. So he goes, yeah, listen, there's a path back behind the cabin that leads to civilization, whatever. Take them there, get them out of here while I dispose of my body and Amanda's, because we don't need Amanda getting back up, and because it's gonna happen. So like he's gonna take care of that, and the other two lead them away. And as they're leading them away into the forest, like they're starting to hear other sounds and stuff. And Kelly and Pablo unload into the forest, and like they killed like a raccoon or something. And and as they're kind of walking around, like the one guy's like, "Oh, PC loving animals and all this shit."
Yeah.
And the blonde's like, "I don't even want to be here." Heather, I think her name. Yeah, Heather. She goes, "I don't even want to be here. I don't know what's going on." And but then she's kind of has the hots for Pablo a little bit. And then Kelly, like she's finally like, "Oh no, he's spoken for." Oh really? Oh, like and like he wasn't. But Kelly's starting to be like, "No, like that's my Pablo,"
Right.
Which was funny. So like they're having that kind of moment, and then all of a sudden, because like they get back into the cabin, and as Ash was chopping up his own body, they're playing it just the two of us, which was hilarious as well. and like
Yeah.
the blood is leading over to the book on the floor. And as it does, like I guess the blood started like to feed the book, and it starts to speak. The face on the book starts to speak, and he gets freaked out. What the hell? And it's, you should join us.
Yeah.
You could never defeat us. He's like, oh, no. We're not playing that game again. I'm burying you. And, as soon as I'm done chopping up my body, I'm going to chop up. And then, like, Amanda's gone. And they cut back to the other ones. And, Amanda's attacking them, and she's a deadite. They're all freaked out. She kills the brunette chick that's with them. And she puts her hand through the back of her head and starts talking like a puppet. And then grabs the guy, does the same thing. The blonde's screaming at the top of her lungs, and they're trying to get away. And Amanda's like, like a super deadite, essentially. She's like causing all kinds of hell. And then Ruby actually shows up. And she kind of puts an end to it. She's like, she stops Amanda. Like, she gets knocked on the floor or whatever, but she doesn't kill her. Like, they're having a conversation, like, oh my God, baby, we could have actually been something. And she's got the dagger to her, so like she's afraid to move. And she's trying to figure out what's going on, and they're trying to figure out who the hell she is. She's like, where's Ash? Where's the book? She's like, I could put an end to this. And as she turns around to look at them, Amanda slips away from underneath her. And she's like, damn it. And she's like, who the hell are you? She was, I'm the only one who could stop this and stop that idiot. And she said that she is the sister to I guess Annie. She's the other daughter from the family that had the cabin and all that. At least that's what she tells them. And she's like, yeah, I could help put an end to this or whatever. So they kind of lead back to the cabin. When they do, like, some freaky other shit starts to happen, and she's trying to make note of what's going on here, and she's like, who the hell are you? And she's like, I'm the other daughter or whatever, and you slaughtered my family and this and that, and he's not trusting or believing her either. And like they're kind of having a moment there, and she's like, listen, the only way to stop this thing is we have to deface the book and everything. We have to destroy it. Burying it isn't going to do anything. So he's like, okay. So they grab the blade and they start to cut into it, and it's still yelling at him and talking at him. And he's like, no, we have to do this. So he peels off the face of it. She's like, good. She goes, and then he throws it on the floor. So like that, the face looking part of it is off, and it's all gooey and blood's all over the place. And she goes, now you have to present it to me. He's like, what do you mean? You have to present it to me and say that I could have it. So that way I have ownership of the book. And that way I could destroy it. And he's like he starts to get reluctant about it. And he's like, oh, something doesn't seem right here. And he's like, what are you, an idiot? Like, give me the book and we can put an end to this. You go back to whatever life that you want to do or whatever. So as he does it, like she starts to do like an incantation. He's like what's going on? And you see like the face that's peeled off, that's on the floor. It starts to lift off the floor by itself.
Oh, yeah.
And as it does, like she's like, whoa, what's going on? And everything's getting all freaky. Like, the shutters are moving, everything's moving. And it floats in the air, and then it flies over and it goes to the medallion that's hanging off of Pablo. Like it's still attracted to that. Because during the series you see that it has like there's some kind of connection with it. And it jumps onto Pablo and it wraps around his face and he can't peel it off. And he starts screaming and freaking out. And she's using Pablo to kind of hurt them or whatever. And he's like, what the hell's going on? And then she throws him or knocks him down. And he goes, who the hell are you? She goes, that's my book. I wrote that book. And like that's how like the end of that episode, like she's the author of the book.
And when she's doing, like, she's reading that, she's like saying something, the face of the book slaps onto Pablo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just said that. It flew over to him, like what she's doing the incantation.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how she was kind of controlling Pablo too a little bit.
Yeah.
So
poor Pablo. Like I said, poor fella.
Yeah, that's just the beginning of his problems.
Oh, I know that. But I mean, for everybody that's like listening to us, you know, again, it's like that's why I mentioned it earlier. He definitely gets the worst end of the stick.
He
Oh,
really does.
He truly does. Yeah, I mean, there's some terrible things, but yeah. So like it starts like that episode 10 just starts off with them in the cabin, and you know, and that like she's one of the dark ones.
Yep.
This is what you end up finding out, and it's like holy crap, you know.
Yeah, because in the beginning it said that the bookstore owner said that the people that wrote the book were called the Dark Ones, and then she's like, I'm the one that wrote the book, so we now find out she's one of the Dark Ones.
Yeah. And the other thing that kind of happens like in the beginning of this episode, like the Amanda pops up there, the Demonite one, and you know it's kind of like working with Ruby a bit, or that it's going to, and Ash basically like he's got to stop her, so he does, and it's like classic Ash fashion, like because she puts herself under the ceiling, and he throws his gun in the air, and then he puts on the chainsaw and he cuts her in half, and as he's cutting her in half, like all the blood is flying onto Samara Weaving, onto Heather, onto the blonde, and she's screaming even more.
Yep.
You know, oh yeah, she got screwed up too in the forest. Like Amanda broke her leg. So like,
Oh yeah, and she let out this humongous scream, and Ruby was like, "God, do you have to do that?"
yeah, that's how Amanda got away. Yeah, that's right. That first time in the forest. Which was
And
great.
like I was thinking the same thing. Like, oh my God, this woman is screaming a lot.
Yeah, she did an awesome job.
Yeah,
She
She
really
did.
did, because like there's a lot of crazy shit that happened in like those couple of episodes that she's in.
yeah,
But yeah, so as it's happening, like they're trying to peel the book off of Pablo, but you know the distraction of Amanda, Ruby and Pablo, they turn around and you see like the lock is broken off the basement door, and Kelly wants to go down there with him, and he's like, "Nah, like we're not doing this. No way." He goes, "It's too dangerous down there." She's like, "No, we're gonna do this together." So he's like, "Fine," like you know. He starts to make his way down there, and then like you see like the evil hits the cabin, and shakes the whole cabin. They all fall down, and Ash gets knocked down there, and it closes on him. And as he's falling down the stairs, they did like that Hitchcock thing, like you know when he had someone falling off a building,
yeah,
like you'd see like the background's kind of spiraling and shit. And
yeah.
you see him land, and he's back in his RV. And it's the moment when he's about to read the book to the blonde girl from like in the first episode.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. And he's like, wait a minute, we've done this before. He's like, didn't I read this to you already? And she's like, no, you never read this to me. He's like, oh, I think I did. And then you hear Ruby's voice, and he's like, what the hell? He turns around, the blonde's gone, and Ruby is like across the way in his RV, and she's like offering him a deal, like, why don't you take this deal? Like, you know, you can have what you want. You want Jacksonville, don't you? She holds up like the postcard in his face. You can have it all. Just give me my book. Leave me alone to do what I need to do. I can control this. I can control the demons and all this. Like she's trying to sell it on him.
Yeah.
And he's not having it. So she kind of like knocks him back into reality, and you see him like the moment he's about to fall from the stairs, and boom, he falls on the floor finally, and he's under the ground like that, and like he's looking around, and you see like the skeletal remains of Henrietta down there, and like some of her clothes, like you know the ripped up clothes and shit, and then you hear like screaming in the other room,
Yeah.
and something's running around in there, like you see like a glimpse of like what the hell was that? But he gets closer to the door to listen to what's going on. And he peeks through, like he opens up one door, it's like another door, it leads to the other back one. And he sees like basically Pablo is like throwing up something as Ruby's on the floor ripping out pages of the book and writing in blood. And as she does, it's like Pablo's giving birth through his mouth to these little demon kids. It was so disturbing.
It was god awful gross.
Yeah, and Pablo still has like the book that's wrapped around his face, like the cover of the book. His eyes are glowing red.
It's so awesome.
Oh my god! And as he's looking, he's like, "Oh my god, what the?" And then you just see like one of the demons are behind him, and he turns around. What the hell? Like, what the freaky little shit? and every time he goes to like to shoot at it, he's about to shoot at it, like it disappeared again, and then it reappeared in front of him, and then it bites him, and he's like, "You little shit!" And he's having a fight with like this 3-foot child
Yep.
that's got all blacked out eyes. It's all slimy and gross. It's crawling up on his back and shit. And then finally, like he has it. Like he puts the gun in its mouth, and he kicks it in the air. He uses like the momentum, and then like he blasts it, and like just the head is stuck on the front of the barrel, and the body got blown to shit.
Yes, that was so
Oh.
good.
It was amazing. Holy hell! And like you see, black shit hits him all over. He's got like buckets of like black tar and blood all over the place.
Yeah.
But like he kicks down the door, and like he wants to put a stop to her, and like you see another one of the kids, like, and it crawls up the wall and goes, it's going up past the dirt and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what? Like she's like, "What are you doing?" And like he tries to put an end to her, and he shoots at her twice, hits her, but like she's on the floor, but it's not really like stopping her. Like she's like starting to heal up, like the holes are starting to heal. And Kelly's going through shit upstairs. They can't even get to the downstairs area. She was shooting at the cellar door, and blood's coming up. Like it's almost like another dimension almost.
Mhm.
It's cool how they did that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then Kelly gets knocked out of the cabin. Like it uses like the like at the door and everything, and knocks her outside. And the blonde is trapped on the inside, and like it moves the sofa and smashes into her leg even worse. The nails come up out of the floor, and then like they're all shooting at her. Like she's gonna be like eviscerated basically.
Yeah.
And Kelly's trying to get in, and she can't. And then finally, like you see on the inside of the cabin, the blonde basically, like you see like a red glowing thing down the hall, and like she gets pulled and she gets sucked in. And then the next scene that you see, the front door opens up and Kelly runs towards it, and just gallons of blood come flying out and body parts. Like it ripped the girl into a million pieces.
Mhm.
Reminded me of Carrie, man.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
grotesque. It was crazy. But again, it looked so awesome, everything they did in there. And Kelly's trying to figure out how to get inside. She eventually puts like gasoline all over the outside of the cabin. She uses like a what do you call it? The emergency flare. She throws it from the car. She throws it on the cabin. It starts to burn, and as it's burning, like it's in pain. But downstairs is also a big fight going on, and Ash is like trying to put an end to Ruby. So like everything's weakened enough where the door opens up and Kelly runs in. So like Kelly gets down there, and she kind of she's encountering some shit too. But eventually she gets inside there, and they're all kind of struggling and fighting. Pablo is getting possessed, and like Ruby's using like her words and shit to control Pablo to attack, and he's trying to fight it. He's like, Hefe, I can't control this. And then like, I'm gonna kill you, Ash. Like, there's like that whole kind of thing going on. But yeah, basically, Pablo ends up like he's choking the shit out of Kelly, like he's about to kill Kelly, and Ash has got his moment that he could kill Ruby, and she's like, you kill me and nothing's gonna stop Pablo from killing her, and then it's gonna kill him. So it's like, why don't we have a truce? Why don't you take the deal? And she's holding up like Jacksonville in his face again, and he's like, I'll do it if you save them too. And they're like, what? They both turn. They're like, are you crazy? He goes, yeah, I want them to be okay too. Like nothing ever happened, and we're fine, and we're all three of us could go to Jacksonville. And she's like, that's fine. And I win $10,000. And she goes, I'm not a bank.
I'm not a bank. He's like, oh, do
What
you have
about
gas money?
She's like, I could do that. All right. And he's like, what? Are you crazy? And then like you see like she does like a incantation, and like the book peels off of Pablo. It goes back onto the binding of the book. And like the next scene you see, they're in the car and he's all happy. And they're like, this was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And Kelly and Pablo are like, yeah, we got to go back there. He's like, for once, I have the good end of the stick. Finally, things looking up for me. And you hear in the radio, there are craters and the earth is opening up and swallowing things whole. He's like, this news is horrible. And he puts in some music from his cassette.
Back in Black from
Back in Black,
AC/DC.
which is great. And he's all right. And he's like all happy and shit. And the two of them are like, what the hell? And they pan out and you see his RV and his car go, like, it's leaving the campground there where the cabin was. And there's like a giant sinkhole that opens up.
Yep.
And that's how the end of the season.
Yep.
Like, he just made the worst decision imaginable.
Because, of course.
Because he's Ash.
Yep. That was what a great season. It goes
Oh, it was fantastic.
it goes by so fast and
It does.
it's just so good.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
So addictive.
It really
And
is.
you're crying
Excellent
for
stuff.
more because even though we had all of that, you didn't want it to end.
Yep.
Right. So hell yeah.
Yeah. So that was season 1 and
Yeah.
that was amazing.
My favorite is when they went back to the cabin like that. That was so good.
Yeah, that was
And then well, what's in store for season 2? Like, completely blew my mind. I wasn't expecting any of what they did.
yeah.
You know, even that kind of return there was holy shit. That was good.
I liked when they were in the basement battling Ruby and stuff. Ruby was gonna cut off Ash's face for a new book cover.
Yep.
Oh
That-
I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Because, the book needs a new cover.
yeah.
And that's part of like during their fight and their struggle and shit. And then he got the upper hand on her. He goes, your human toys don't do anything. And then he tricked her and got the dagger away from her. He goes, how about this? Yeah, I do learn. Like, and he's got the blade towards her, and she is burning up. Like, her skin is getting all bubbly and shit. Like it does affect her as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
was pretty
that Kandarian dagger that works on all the Deadites.
Yep. And the dark ones apparently, because she's definitely a dark one.
Yep.
So that was really cool.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I'd like to know more about the Kandarian dagger.
Me too.
Vinny, they didn't bring that up in those newer movies, did they? At all by chance? To your recollection?
Not in the Evil Dead Rise movie.
Not in that one. I'm trying to remember if it was in. I think it was in the 2013 one. I can't remember.
I was just curious because I've never seen any of those.
I plan on seeing that again soon because I know where the Blu-ray is on that. But when I watch it again, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
Because I enjoyed it. I still like that 2013 one. It's a different movie. It's more horror, but it's still it's strong enough that it's not just like torture horror shit. It's not like torture porn thing.
Yeah.
It's it's still a good story, and the way they did it was awesome. Because again, it was
They
supposed
not
to
messed up the other movie. The way you kind of made it talk, it did make a lot of sense to me, even though I haven't seen the movie. Where again, we're going into different universes or whatever. But
you also got to remember again that movie was supposed to be a lead up into another Ash movie.
Right.
Because it was going to be hers, it was going to be another one with him, and then they were going to do a third one where they come together to try to defeat evil. Like, he kind of gives her more pointers and helps her, and they kind of help each other. I guess some of the elements that we saw throughout this season, they kind of since they scrapped it, they used some of that in here a bit.
Right.
Is what it looks like. But
it makes sense with Kelly too. Like, let's say that Kelly was going to be the girl from the movie you saw. Would that make? I haven't seen it, but
no. They're totally different characters.
Okay.
No, it's more real world.
Strong, at first her parents die, and then she's a pretty strong character with the bloodlust, but yeah.
No. This one was different. The girl in this one's more of a victim.
Okay.
Kind of like just like Ash, like she's put in a fucked up situation where she has to step up in order to survive. Is basically it. It was not that she was being heroic. It was just her and this thing that was left. It was that type of thing. But and again, it's more set, like I said, in a real world, where this one is more, has those cartoony elements and but But anyway, again, like I respect all that stuff. The only thing I did not like was Rise. Rise was terrible. Just a shitty
Yeah.
movie altogether.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, this was a blast.
Such a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Time Prophet mentioned he hasn't seen season 3 yet. He said earlier that he might watch it after Burn Notice. You have exactly 2 weeks to get that done.
That's right.
If you don't want to be spoiled by this stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard one. I mean, because once you start, it's hard to stop. It's like,
Yeah.
Pringles and shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, and again, when you said we were doing season 1, I was almost like, man, how are you wanting to do this? Because man, there's so many ways to go. Like breaking down a couple episodes since they're short, and again the whole season. And thank you, Vinny, for carrying it, because I got through about half. I got to like 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were acting up. But it's like, I'm gonna be honest, man, listening to you retell the story, and everything, it just makes me, I can't wait to finish watching it tonight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
It's so good that, and again, it's like my memory is sharp as can be. Like, I mean, I'm laughing, and I'm remembering stuff. But then again, how gooey they are. Like, stuff in the book when it talks about, because like I said, dude, I only got stars because of this show. I was like, I wanted to support it, and we got 3 kick-ass seasons. I wish we would have done another, but
I know it would have been great. But I think when we get to the 3rd one, because I heard something about the end of it. Because one of my friends, he said something else. He was like, "Yeah, they were going to continue it in that area." I'm like, "No, they weren't," because I heard that they reshot an ending a little bit to kind of. Anyway, when we get there, we'll get there.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, this was awesome. Yeah, thanks for narrating the stream for us, Vinny.
You're welcome. Like I said, it's my favorite. One of my favorites anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So happy.
Perfection, man. It's perfection.
It really is. Yeah. So that was awesome. So next week we'll do season 2, and looks like Draven will be able to join us for season 2.
Yep.
So that'll be good. And of course, Adam, you're welcome again. And so just everybody, thank you all for being here. I loved the conversations between Time Prophet and Lurch. You guys were funny in the chat. But thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate every one of you for being here. And next week we'll be doing season 2. And so Adam, let everybody know what you got going on.
So I don't even know myself. That's the messed up part. Tomorrow, I do believe if Justin Proper's doing a stream, I'll probably jump on there. Of course, Vinny will tell you what's going on with Tommy and himself if it's over there. I might be over there. I don't think we're doing much, are we?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be my stream, but I don't know after that.
Yeah. I meant because I'm trying not to.
We got to double. Yeah, we got to double check with Draven.
But I think at some point with Draven, we're gonna figure out the wrestling between Friday and Saturday night too, or something. But I mean,
the weekend's gonna be crazy because Sunday's the big AEW thing that they've been building up for months and months and months.
Yeah, all in. So there's that. But I mean, it's you'll catch me on with ETEP Cooling Place to Be reviews. Maybe we get Monotony to do a video and we can all jump on there and torment his channel a little bit. But it'll be the usual world class bullshitters. ETEP Cooling's Place to Be reviews right back here, of course, with you next Wednesday. Because I mean, I'd pay you to do this, but I'm broke. I'm just happy to be here. I got my beautiful Vinny books in the back. We've got the Batman for the Bat Bros. Going all
Bat
blue.
Bros.
The Bat Bros. It's fun to come off a Horror Hound in a wonderful weekend to come back here and do this with you guys. Because again, this is one of this is perfection to me. I can't think. we had Star Wars, we've had a lot of other things, but this is its own. And when it comes to a series and a movie compilation, there you go. I'll get it out. Again, I can't think of anything in my mind that comes close to this. Again, Breaking Bad was good. Then there's a lot of stuff that we all enjoys, but when it comes to perfection, this is it. And I cannot think of anyone other than Bruce Campbell to play this role. He was born for this. Yeah. Absolutely nobody comes to mind. I'm sorry. Nobody comes to mind that could do a better job than what we got. And thank God for it, because awesome, to see how it should be. And again, like you said, even the movie, even though it was more horror, the one that you did, and they were going to do stuff with it. And then that got chopped. And then they did this other one that was so bad, Trina had to go see it. And it was really, really bad. So I'm not even bothering. But this, that when it comes to the first three movies in the series, that is definitely what you want. And I wish we would have got more, but hey, we keep our fingers crossed. Maybe animated, that'd be great, or cartoons.
Yeah.
Do it with that.
Well, they'll do something, yeah. Like, I think we can speculate more and stuff too, and kind of what they hinted at.
But I mean, it's one of those. I really hope so, and then we'd have more for your channel. Hey, let's get her to 300 subs, and then we'll get her another 2, and then we'll get her monetized or partially monetized. And all of us that need to get monetized is so that we don't have to pay for the damn StreamYard element. At least that way we're getting a little bit something back, because YouTube's going to take most of it, but that would be about it. But yeah, again, thank you so much for having me on. I like showing off my cool stuff, but no, hanging out with you guys, this has been fun. I've been looking forward to this, since I left Horror Hound. So it's literally, it was like, okay. I thought that Cooper Dudley was going to be leaving me Monday, so that I wasn't looking forward to coming home, but then he got to stay. So he's not going anywhere. So my buddy gets to stay. So everything turned out good for me. This was awesome. Vinny with the play-by-play. Mwah! Thank you, brother Cyber Hug, for doing all the hard work here and heavy lifting while we kind of threw a little bit in. But no, it has been a blast. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Are quiet.
Thanks for, they are quiet. And thank you for being here. I'm so glad you were able to make it.
Me too.
All right, Vinny, tell everybody what you got going on.
Yeah, tomorrow we should be doing the toy stream. I did record and upload the figure that I eviscerate. And yeah, it deserved everything that I ripped it apart about. We'll be showing that tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze in another figure review, or at least a couple of shorts as well for the stream. Friday we'll be doing Friday Underground. As usual, and then we should be back for Sunday. I don't know 100% yet. It depends, because there's going to be a lot of wrestling on Sunday. I know it's more like earlier in the day, but depending on how much more the guys want to do or not, and how much we're talking, I don't know if I'm going to be too tired for it. But we might still be doing the one on Sunday. We'll play it by ear. But other than that, this was a blast as always. Looking forward for next week, and looking forward to checking out the that interview everyone's been talking about the past hour.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much again for narrating the season for us. It was awesome.
You're welcome. Yeah, I flubbed a little bit in the beginning. I had to look at an episode where we were talking a bit.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I got a little bit of it mixed up, but other than that, yeah, we flew good, pretty well.
Yep, it was good. And yeah, we've got Lurch is dropping Time Profits YouTube channel here, so everybody check him out.
Hell yeah. Doozy it up.
What is this? Subscribe to Trina Real Horror, or you hate women.
Nice. Dig it.
I love it. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a great night, and yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Peace.